at Rusty Bethel Drive. I'm Paiswell Forbes. This is ZNS.
It's What's Trending with Jiminita Swain and the Bahama Beauty at the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas from Studio A. It all starts right now.
It's Thursday, July 3rd, and you're watching What's Trending, where we bring you the latest trends and hottest news on the people, places, and things you want to know about. I'm Jiminita Swain with all things lifestyle, entertainment, and everything in between. Coming up on today's show, we are taking you down memory lane back to the days of Old Bay Street and the popular Mike's Shoe Store, the Stop and Shop, and the House of Venue. We are reminiscing with the Clanaris brothers. Meet a Bahamian designer making waves internationally, building a name for himself and proudly representing the country on the global stage. And it's a new generation, new ideas and money moves. Learn more about the economic potential of what you can do. Those stories and more coming up. You're watching What's Trending.
Diet-friendly special.
Bahamas, come celebrate our 52nd independence at the Family Fun Day, July 10th at Clifford Park. It's a great afternoon of food, fun, culture, entertainment, national pride. Gates open at 4 p.m., concert time 6 p.m. 52nd Independence Family Fun Day at Clifford Park. Bring the whole family. Admissions free. Happy Independence, Bahamas.
See, I'm proud to be a Bahamian. I'm proud to be a Bahamian.
It was an iconic landmark and business establishment in the heart of Bay Street. Mike's Shoe Store was considered the leading outlet of its kind, attracting customers from Abaco to Inagua. If you wanted to step in style or head back to school, it was certainly the place to go. Here what led to the success of the business and its impact on Bay Street, but nationwide as well. Today we are reflecting on the business and discussing the changing trends on Bay Street with the Clanaris brothers, Charles and Nick. Welcome to the show. It's so good to have both of you here with us.
Thank you for having us. Very nice to be here.
Thank you so much for having us.
Awesome. So who is going to take the first question? When and how did Mike's Shoe Store get started in the Bahamas?
It doesn't matter. I'll begin.
All right.
Yeah. It started back in 1930 when Dad, after the sponge industry sort of had a disease and sort of faded away, Dad got involved in repairing shoes. So from repairing shoes, he sort of eventually started to import shoes at a little bit at a time, and he eventually ended up opening a Mike's Shoe Store.
And it definitely became really, really popular. So what was the original vision behind the store, and how did it evolve over the years?
Originally, like my brother just said, he started off repairing. But my dad was very ambitious and very hardworking. And he had a vision of creating a beautiful, wonderful shoe store that would cover the entire Bahamas in terms of from the average Bahamian and eventually worked up to some very expensive shoes. But generally, as a starter, it was for the low and medium income customer base. And that was really the success. But let me add, too, that part of the success was his personality.
Yes.
And his kindness. And in those days, for example, he did some out-island business. And what would happen is when the boat would come in, whether it was the 52 miles from Eleuthera or from Abaco, wherever, the mate would come in, and back in the out-island, he would get sizes of the different customers.
You definitely
and
had
they would come in
the business.
And we would fill in that order. No one paid. Everything was out of trust, and that's how it worked. So, and eventually the following trip, he would bring the funds.
Okay.
But that's how that was part of his business, and it was really, again, the importance of the kindness that really became a landmark, but also helped the shoe store.
Help him connect with his customers. So as children, both of you would have worked in the store and later become owners. So tell us more about the childhood days and your experience welcoming customers and family islanders.
Well, after I graduated from Queens College, I went and did a quick business course in Florida because my mind was my shoe store. And I came back in 59, and then Charles followed, 65, I think. 65 he came in, type of thing. And sort of actually working on weekends with Dad sort of gave us the interest, and I knew where I wanted to go and everything else, so that's kind of, and selling shoes after school or whatever, on Saturdays when there was the only time we could go and help. And from there, I sort of got very, very interested.
Let me just add that it was the work ethic. He didn't give us a break. On the weekends, you had to work. Exactly. Everybody worked at the store, you know, and Mother would prepare lunch for my dad. But Saturdays, no. You had to be there at the store.
Be there and learn the business.
Yeah.
And so what would you say is some of the feedback you would have gotten? You mentioned a few minutes ago that some people still refer to you as Mike.
Oh, absolutely.
But what are some of the other feedback you get since you made such an impression?
Well, even today, it wasn't too long ago, somebody said, I still got shoes sitting in my closet 15 years or whatever, how long it is. It's been, you know, that type of...
So obviously quality
was very important.
You offered.
We did have.
Fantastic customer experience.
Yeah, and the price. I mean, tremendous. And like Charles was saying earlier, there's a book that we had that you would put their name down and whether they had, it was pound, shillings, and pence at the time.
Yes.
And then if they had 10 shillings to put on the shoe or whatever, and on the layaway plan, tremendous layaway plan. And they would come next 1 week and pay, and before you know it, they would take it home, and it was not a problem. And someone didn't have it, bring it back next week.
And you have it.
Yeah.
So what would you say is the role the store played in Bay Street or the downtown Nassau community?
As far as Charles...
Well, I would say the attraction and the amount of people it attracted to come downtown.
So it was definitely a hub for business and where people wanted to be.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, so,
that's
you know, like you say, you know, the days for back to school was enormous. The mothers with the kids. And when I was to think about the old days, when parents, they would come in with their kids. No one came in on their own. And they would sit the kids down, and then we would ask them, what size? So we fit them up. Do they fit? Yes. And all they would say, yes, ma'am, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Nobody quivered. They didn't want the
no
Jordans
back
or the tip, no back talk, whatever we
just
fit
what
in.
mommy or daddy buy in, and you can go with that.
Exactly. So
okay, that's
to see that the manners that was there and the respect. Yeah, it was really enjoyable to see all of that, you know.
Well, I would imagine, like most businesses, Mike's also would have faced some challenges. Are you able to talk about that and how you overcame them at the time? Or were you one of those exemplary businesses where you kind of just flowed with your customers so there weren't really many challenges?
No, I don't think we had any really sort of challenges at all, that type of thing. We, of course, because of how we built it up and knowing the customer base, I mean, it was...
You sound like it was easy.
Yeah. We didn't see any hardships at all.
The only thing that really was purchasing property at that time on Bay Street, and that was expensive.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you had to do bank loans and what have you. So from that perspective, you know, you really had to be on your toes and make sure things were working well.
Well, you left Bay Street in 2006, so how did the store transition in terms of a new location?
Well, we actually had branches with the main store downtown.
Okay, so you still had a presence there.
Oh, absolutely. We did. Wolf Road was our first store. Then we went to Robinson Road. Then we went to Nassau Street, Prince Charles, and then we had the main one downtown, and the Marathon Mall. So we had, was it seven branches? And all of the time, so it was quite a few years after when Charles and I went. It might have been the 80s, was it the 80s, the 90s, the branches and everything sort of took off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what would you say you are most proud of in terms of the journey of the stores and its growth?
What I'm most proud of?
Yeah.
The impression we made in the Bahamas. Very much impression. And like you said, to walk around and know that...
The recognition.
That great recognition.
Yeah. I will tell you a couple of stories. Even the Bishop Moss of the...
Baptist Street, the
one...
Church of God on East Street?
On East Street.
Yeah.
The huge... he would invite me and my dad when they had their convention there. And I recall going there and just walking up to the podium there. There was pandemonium. Everyone recognizes. And it was such a beautiful feeling. And even the Baptist Church on East Street, East and Bay Street, again, I think it was Bishop or Reverend Smith, if I'm not mistaken. They would come in, and there was huge recognition in terms of, we were well in terms of culture, a part of that whole Bahamian experience.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what's it like for both of you these days? Do you still have an interest in Bay Street, or what's going on with you?
I don't know. Now, Bay Street's not the same. It is not really the same now, because earlier, like we said, from East Street to Victoria Avenue, that was the hub of Bay Street.
It was bustling.
That was the, and now it's sort of changed completely. It's not the same and anything else. I kind of miss it, and it's a shame. I go downtown. We go downtown still every so often, but it's not the same.
Not as you remembered it.
Yeah.
We lived in West Street, downtown, and I would say between Nassau Street to some degree, but mainly up the hill of Meeting Street, Delancey Street, then West Street, right up to, I would say, Cumberland Street. Oh no, I would say up to East Hill Street where the post office is. That was like an oasis downtown. It was really enjoyable living there. The homes, people lived there. It was really a wonderful experience.
So hopefully we move beyond that, but it was definitely an inspiring journey to hear you both reminisce about your dad and the impact of Mike's on Bay, but certainly all the best to both of you in the future.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
Nice having it.
Definitely nice having you here with us. You're watching What's Trending, another successful Bahamian footprint coming up.
Thanks. Bets.
Greg, what's up?
Ready, man? How you doing?
I'm doing well.
You up?
He's meditating. You gotta give him at least an hour.
All right. Well, I can wait. I ain't got nothing to do. Infinitize saying now on to independence.
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SBDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting tingsybahamas.com.
From the catwalks of the Bahamas to the competitive fashion markets of the U.S., one Bahamian is proving that style and ambition knows no borders. Cardell McClam first turned heads on the local fashion scene in 2011. Today, he's not just dressing the part, he's making million-dollar moves in the American fashion industry. Whether as a stylist, image consultant, or runway show producer, Cardell has built a brand defined by bold vision and polished execution. And now, from his base in Dallas, Texas, he's continuing to show just how far Bahamian talent can reach.
Yes, I am a style advisor at Suit Supply, Dallas, and I work specifically with menswear, that's suits and ready-to-wear items. I style within whatever collections they release or will release in the future. And then I design within the framework of that European-based store and its aesthetic.
Bahamian designer Cardell McClam has expanded his horizons, relocating to the United States and embracing a new chapter in his career. One area where he's truly excelled, sales.
I've been with the company like 3 years, which is amazing because I never intended to be with the company that long. One of the things I came in there knowing is that this is where I'm supposed to be right now. And so after looking into school, thinking I should work on my master's degree or a second bachelor's degree, I discovered Suit Supply. Well, actually, they discovered me. And I just knew this was an opportunity to grow. And so it has been so much growth as far as interaction with clients, meeting deadlines, moving from one client to the other client, hearing what they say, what they need. And so that has resulted in doing over $1.3 million alone, no friends, no family here, just being professional, showing my excellence as a Bahamian in the United States. We are built with something that is so fortified, so authentic, that it translates no matter where you go. And if you find your purpose and your passion, no matter where you go in the earth, you'll be number one, because that's what's been proven to me for the last 3 years.
While building his professional portfolio, McClam also remains connected to his audience through social media, particularly with his popular Get Ready With Me videos.
So what inspired that is to stay connected and to show a little more of what my day-to-day has been all along. Because fashion is something you have to evolve and grow in. And it has a lot of mistakes, a lot of trial and error. And for a long time, when you saw my runway shows, you just saw something perfected, even if you saw imperfection. It took some time to get to that point where I showed it to you, the public and the audience. And so showing the behind the scene gives persons the opportunity to connect with me and for me to connect with them. Just going to the grocery store or going shopping or something very random, but you put yourself together in a way that is palatable, tasteful, and that represents you as an individual as well.
So can we expect new fashion collections?
Yes, I've been working on collections as they come. I think this time was pivotal for me to sit back and just allow things to come to me, because sometimes we get caught up in the rat race of deadlines or doing it because you can, or doing it with not as much wind, not as much support as far as like the vision that God is showing you. Also, the discipline behind executing the ideas that God showed you. So I've been working on collections as God inspires. So I'm on my third collection. So I typically sketch and then I look into fabrics and I put it away. Then another one came and then I was like, okay. And then the third one is a continuation actually to the Bahamas, the collection that I did at the Independence, the 50-year celebration, Independence Fashion Showcase, a continuation of that. So I've put together 3 collections, and yes, I will be back with a runway showcase in the Bahamas.
And what's the status of the Cardell McClam and Cardellicious brands?
Those brands still exist. I've been kind of reimagining what the brands will be, how they will show up when I do showcase it again. They are fashion brands. They definitely e-commerce. Definitely getting in stores right away. The inspirations for them, as per usual, will remain the same. Whatever God show me, I will dismantle it with Cardellicious, which is the full-figured fashion brand of the Bahamas, and then Cardell McClam, which is men's and women couture. And just focusing and harnessing on them. I've been doing some work as clients come in, not focused on it, but there are clients in the United States that hit me up or in the Bahamas, and I would execute for their events.
As for what's ahead?
I am working on my leisure brand. And so that's something clients have always said to me after shows, where could I get an item? Something quick, something, you just get online and you purchase it. So definitely working on some like t-shirts and hoodies and just different like little dress, a little t-shirt here to be online. E-commerce is my goal right now before I do a showcase, so persons could have things that they could purchase immediately before the show, while the show is going on, after the show, and it will be connected to the storytelling of that particular collection. So I've been working with manufacturers. So those would be collaborative. Also, we've been working for the last 5 years on a signature fabric that is basically finished. It just needs to be ordered. And so those 2 things have been in the woodwork. As far as fashion is concerned. The other thing would be music. I've been working on music. I lost my sister during this process of just being away from the audience. I lost my sister, and then I lost my grandmother. And both of them were music geniuses in my eyes. So I've been working on music. I've completed the writing of 2 songs. And so I'm definitely going to get in studios. I've been collaborating with Z. And then I'm extending that collaboration to producers and other people just to bring it together more tight. That would be the 3 items. And then, of course, my podcast. My podcast is coming August 1st.
Tired of looking at the same old kitchen? Step 1, our talented recommended designer Mark crafts a custom design just for you. Step 2, once your design is ready, CBS Bahamas makes ordering effortless. Your dream kitchen is within reach. Step 3, our recommended installers bring your vision to life, ensuring every detail is perfectly in place. Sit back and relax as your dream space becomes a reality. Visit cbsbahamas.com and start bringing your home improvement dreams to life today.
In 2010, a grant helped Bahamas striping group of companies get started. Today, that seed has grown into a national force, building roads, airports, and brighter futures. Now, we're leading the way through public-private partnerships, what we call 3Ps, where government vision meets private sector innovation. 3Ps empowers local subcontractors, giving them the chance to bid. And with every contract, we're putting money directly into communities, creating jobs, supporting families, and fueling growth. From roads in Eleuthera to community centers in the inner city, we're not just laying asphalt, we're laying foundations for financial opportunity. At Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, we believe in building more than infrastructure. We're building up Bahamians who build the Bahamas. 3Ps, public-private partnerships for people, progress, and prosperity.
Diving into global trends where Gen Z's creativity is fueling cash flow. These aren't just trends, they're micro-business movements with big economic impact. Take a look in this week's economic segment and be inspired. These influencers aren't just setting trends. They're building empires. More and more creators are stepping behind the camera to launch businesses of their own. From skincare lines and snack brands to fashion collections, digital stars are now startup founders. And their massive followings are turning into real financial firepower. These creators have something most brands spend years trying to build: trust, attention, and community, and investors are paying attention, betting on influencer-led startups with built-in audiences and low marketing cost. In this new era of digital entrepreneurship, content is currency and authenticity sells. When the product feels personal, people buy in. One beauty influencer reportedly hit over 1 million in sales within her first year, powered purely by social media traction and word of mouth. The formula is simple but powerful: strong niche, direct connection, and a product that reflects the creator's identity. The result, a new generation of lean startups that scale fast without traditional overhead, storefronts, or middlemen. Stay with us. There is more trending after the break.
If you would like to be a part of What's Trending, DM us on Instagram at What's Trending on ZNS.
Diet-friendly special.
Your home is your sanctuary. The last thing you need to worry about is rodents. Once they enter your property, they can be tough to get out. If you're concerned about rodents, call Rent-A-Kill Initial. We offer the latest, most effective treatment for safe, fast, and long-lasting results. From prevention to elimination, our integrated approach guarantees protection. For rodent control you can trust, there's only one name in the Bahamas: Rent-A-Kill Initial.
Bahamas, come celebrate our 52nd independence at the Family Fun Day, July 10th at Clifford Park. It's a great afternoon of food, fun, culture, entertainment, national pride. Gates open at 4 p.m., concert time 6 p.m. 52nd Independence Family Fun Day at Clifford Park. Bring the whole family. Admissions free. Happy Independence, Bahamas.
See, I'm proud to be a Bahamian. I'm proud to be a Bahamian.
Monday's show, what you can expect as the countdown approaches to the country's 52nd independence. Well, be sure to catch up with us on Instagram at What's Trending on ZNS for all the latest buzz. We'll see you right back here on Monday at 6 p.m. for more lifestyle, entertainment, and everything in between. I'm Jimenita Swain. Have a great weekend, everybody.
At the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, I'm Clint Watson, and this is ZNS.
This is the Bahamas Tonight. The Northern Edition has a look at stories making news tonight. A new look for Grand Bahama. Government officials unveil an iconic signage branding the island like never before. Plus, the Ministry of Labor and Public Service and the Freeport Container Port team up for a major job fair. And eye-opening statistics. Health officials reveal the alarming findings of the 2025 Global School Health Report.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thanks so much for tuning in. Topping news, a historical economic hub on Grand Bahama just got a new look as the Ministry of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, the Tourism Development Corporation, and the Ministry for Grand Bahama partner to bring new life to the area. Cleopatra Murphy tells us that it was also the launch of a long-awaited initiative.
Grand Bahama Icon sign will be the first mini smart city at icon signs all across the island.
Grand Bahama just got what tourism officials hope will become a tourist attraction and a place for tourists and locals alike to make memories. As Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, the Honorable Chester Cooper was among officials unveiling the Grand Bahama Icon sign Thursday. More than a sign unveiling, Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxie, says it marks the launch of the redevelopment of the Fishing Hole Cultural Village.
With the proposed redevelopment of this site, we have ensured that sustainable modeling was taken into consideration. The full master plan for this area will include minimal fixed structures and maximize efficiency and resiliency with well-designed food trucks in partnership with the Tourism Development Corporation.
The Grand Bahama Icon sign will also be the first of the Icon sign locations with Wi-Fi. The sign was designed by His Excellency Jamal Roll and contracted by Grand Bahamian Diane Ingram. Featured prominently is the curly-tailed lizard that the Minister of Tourism says is emblematic of Grand Bahama.
It's a curly-tailed Grand Bahamian lizard. Is one that signifies resilience, hope, the ecological and cultural richness of Grand Bahama. And of course, I am told by Brother Bernie that it also represents good luck.
Minister Cooper says the sign's location at the Fishing Hole Road is deliberate, as the Fishing Hole Road is a vital causeway connecting Freeport and West Grand Bahama, while the sign represents government's commitment to cultural advancement. He says the redeveloped location will also provide economic opportunities for residents.
The cultural village itself, once completed, will not only be a marketplace, but a central hub for the fishing community. It will be a location, a destination itself, that attracts tourists and locals, a place where our heritage of fishing and local enterprise will be celebrated for future generations.
The unveiling of the life-size Grand Bahama Icon sign marks the third unveiling for the Bahamas, following similar unveilings on Exuma and Cat Island. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
Certainly is a beautiful sign. Well, health and wellness officials today released the findings of the 2025 Global School Health Report at the Office of the Prime Minister. The report highlights the physical, mental, emotional, and social realities faced daily by children and adolescents. The survey included 2,213 students aged 13 to 18 from 35 schools across 8 islands, including Abaco, Berry Islands, and Grand Bahama. The Honorable Dr. Michael Darble describing the statistics as alarming, but expressed that they present an opportunity to address these challenges head on.
We found that 28% of students reported persistent feelings of sadness and hopelessness. 1 in 4 teens, or 25%, have seriously contemplated suicide, and 1 in 5 have attempted suicide.
Sobering numbers that should not sit well with anyone, says Health and Wellness Minister the Honorable Dr. Michael Darville, as he reveals findings from the 2025 Global School Health Report. The data uncovers concerning trends in the social well-being of students. When it comes to diet and exercise, the situation is even more troubling. Officials report that the rate of overweight teens has increased by 135% since 1998. Darville also notes that only 17% of students are getting adequate physical activity to maintain good health.
When it comes to diet and physical activity, students are consuming excessive amount of sugary beverages and ultra-processed foods with limited dietary intake of fruits and vegetables. Only 10% of our teens eat a daily recommended amount of vegetables, and 6% eat adequate fruits.
Officials say exposure to violence and bullying within schools remains a serious issue affecting many students.
Our children are not only feeling unsafe in schools, but they are also feeling unsafe in other settings, including the home.
In response to these alarming numbers, Minister Darville outlined several key focus areas, including the development of a national adolescence health policy, the expansion of school-based health services, a nationwide physical and nutrition campaign, and the launch of a national digital health platform.
It is now upon all of us to use this information to drive effective change.
Well, through a joint venture with the Ministry of Labor and Public Service and the Freeport Cantina Port, an open job fair occupied the ground of the Obadiah Wilscombe complex in 8 Mile Rock. Applicants hoping to join the Shipping Hub's team are vetted through a swift and smooth process, including registering within the Department of Labor and an on-site interview. Executive Manager with the Ministry of Labor and Public Service, Quentin LaRota, is ecstatic for the venture, as he says the results can be promising for those seeking employment.
We've been down for some time, and I think we're on the way back. And if we could have good paying jobs, regular jobs, permanent jobs with benefits, that will go well for the Grand Bahamians. I anticipate that some of our people will come back home, because as I travel throughout the Bahamas, I always see people from Grand Bahama. And I always say, LaRota, I'm ready to come back home, and I'm glad that things are happening and they can return.
Public Service Employment Officer with the Department of Labor, Princess Flowers, says those who may not be selected can still look forward to an optimistic future due to their registration.
It's very important that when you come to these job fair that you register with the Department of Labor, because if in an event that you're unsuccessful with obtaining employment with the companies present, you're a part of our skills bank. So on a daily basis, we're able to look at your qualification, your experience, and your skill sets, and we can always match you with anything that becomes available outside of a job fair.
Still on the job front, the National Training Agency is equipping young Bahamians for the workforce with a broader goal of helping them become stronger, more capable employees. Acting Manager in Grand Bahama, Deborah Pratt, along with Assistant Director in Nassau, Ion Hepburn, says they're hopeful the program continues to grow and fills a much-needed gap for young people seeking direction and employment.
The National Training Agency is basically a job readiness program. It's a competency-based program where we train young persons between the ages of 16 and 26 with soft skills that will prepare them for the workforce.
And we want the public to know that we are here. We are about job readiness. We are about preparing young people to be better in the workplace. The one thing that is missing in a lot of places is that young people, they leave college or they leave high school, and they go in the workplace and there's nothing in between there.
Graduates Victoria Lewis, Tamir Bain, and Tashana Johnson shared reflections on their time at the National Training Agency. Each received certificates in soft skills, and with their training complete, these young ladies are now stepping confidently into a bright future.
From sessions to insightful discussions, I was constantly reminded that growth happens outside of our comfort zone.
And to my fellow graduates, this isn't the end of our story together, but just the beginning of our next chapter. Thank you and congratulations to us all.
I'm proud of who I've become and even more excited about who I'm still becoming. This isn't the end. It's just the beginning of a new chapter. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's this. Never underestimate the power of growth, a good attitude, and a well-labeled file. Thank you.
And still to come.
The Ministry of Grand Bahama officially kicks off its 2025 Summer Job Program. That story, sports, and more when we return.
Imagine a world where every brand knows your name and every store awaits your arrival. Elite shopping, travel where luxury is a lifestyle and every journey feels like home. Dine where every flavor is just for you, every table reserved, and every moment a taste of perfection. Make every big moment even bigger. Experience banking where wealth isn't just managed, it's maximized. Step into a world without limits. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Come on down and see what Dolly Madison has in store for you. Renovate and rejuvenate at Dolly Madison.
Come and be blessed at the New Life Worship Center in Freeport, Grand Bahama, where Bishop Simeon Ouden is the senior pastor. Services are on Sunday at 9 a.m. and Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Come and experience a time of praise and worship in the Word.
It's a pre-independent Sunday brunch at No Holds Bar, July 6, hosted by Tej and music by DJ Hot Skull Swagger and DJ Rambo. Enjoy baked chicken with crab and rice, plus games, prizes, and a round trip to Bimini. Just $30 entry.
Let's come together to worship in preparation for our nation's 52nd anniversary of independence at the Ecumenical Service of Praise and Thanksgiving at First Baptist Church, led by the Grand Bahama Christian Council on Sunday, July 6th at 3 p.m. The public is welcome. Walk, run, or cycle in the Ministry for Grand Bahama's Welcoming Home 5K Road Race and Health Fair on Saturday, July 5th, beginning at 6 a.m. at the Harold de Gregory Complex. Bring the family for a morning of fitness, fun, and culture. Get free health screenings after the race and purchase a healthy breakfast from participating vendors. Registration is free. Go to ministryforgb.com to register today.
Grand Bahama Tiles is celebrating independence with a 25% off store-wide sale. On July 8th and July 9th, enjoy store-wide saving with some items up to 60% off. And the first 10 customers get an additional $52 off their entire purchase. Let's celebrate independence with great savings. Call them 352-7920.
Welcoming Home. Get ready, Grand Bahama. The Welcoming Home Grand Expo and Empowerment Seminar is coming July 4th, 2025. Join us at the Grand Lucayan Convention Center from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. for a day of inspiration, information, and opportunity. Hear key updates from the government and connect with top investors, entrepreneurs, and business leaders. Whether you're returning home or looking to grow your vision, this is your moment. The future of Grand Bahama is now. Be a part of it. That's Friday, July 4th at the Grand Lucayan. Don't miss it.
Calling all contractors. Your exclusive priority access to Grand Bahama Tiles pre-independence sale begins Monday, July 7th for one day only. With personalized service, come in and enjoy all the discounts at your leisure before the crowd arrives. See you Monday, July 7th for your exclusive pre-independence sale access.
Your number one team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Welcome back. Continuing their annual tradition through an internship initiative, the Ministry of Grand Bahama held its official ceremony for the beginning of the 2025 Summer Job Program, welcoming both its July and August cohorts of enthusiastic students. Our Matthew Martinborough shares more details in this report.
An abundance of youth applicants swarmed the foyer of Freeport Bible Church at the official ceremony commencing the start of this year's Summer Job Program under the tutelage of the Ministry of Grand Bahama. Taking the podium at the affair is Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxie. She says the program within itself is a symbol of investing in tomorrow's vibrant minds.
It's about taking immense pride in what you do
no matter how big or small that task might seem. This is where you learn discipline and that inner strength and commitment that will serve you well in every aspect of your lives, from your careers to your personal goals.
The minister adds being a part of the program means more than just working for a simple paycheck.
It's about taking immense pride in what you do, no matter how big or small that task might seem. This is where you learn discipline and that inner strength and commitment that will serve you well in every aspect of your lives, from your careers to your personal goals.
Speaking with some of the program applicants, they say they're optimistic about the experience they look forward to obtaining.
I could get a proper understanding how the world works and how I'm prepared to be a part of that world, because as a citizen, it's all about how I could get myself into that picture as adult.
Communication, articulation, and the overall getting access of probably even documentation. That will help me with research inside school.
I want to learn how to manage my accounting. I would like to know how to manage money more carefully and finances.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Matthew Martinborough.
While the Queen Conch is notoriously recognized for its meaty texture as a cultural culinary staple, however, its outer hard covered shell usually becomes discarded as waste. Thanks to a venture done by the Ministry of Tourism Development Corporation, a newfound avenue to prolong the marine life's usefulness has come to fruition right in West End. Our Matthew Martinborough shares more in this report.
From handmade jewelry pieces like tasteful earrings and eye-popping necklaces to decorative dish holsters and utensils, all is on display as a result of a successful 10-day conch carving class attended by local vendors, fully sponsored by the Tourism Development Corporation. Speaking with one of the class instructors, Sylvie Carey, she says she is thankful for the corporation's investment into the local entrepreneurs.
The Tourism Development Corporation was extremely accommodating to provide equipment, and they were very flexible on everything so that the people of West End would be privy to learn a skill, because since they have the beautiful conch shell that comes out here on shore on a regular basis. So that was the main aim, for them to also see a different venture in business for themselves.
Fellow instructor and East Grand Bahama native bone fisherman Leroy Glinton says he hopes a venture like this one can be expanded throughout the entire nation.
As being a bonefish guide, my tours would ask me to bring shells, and I was telling them they'd give me $10, $20 for a shell. You're going to sell 3 to 4 pounds to count to make that type of money. So then I got into the art and craft business, and it seems to be paying off. But we need to take this business through the whole entire Bahamas, because this is the Bahamian natural resources, and we need to conquer it.
Co-owner of Strawtacular Designs, Doris Frith, shares her experience can help broaden the horizons for local vendors like herself.
They can use our natural resources to enhance their business. They don't have to purchase everything that they make, that they can do certain things from scratch and create a very authentically Bahamian product.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Matthew Martinborough.
Well, as we're in the midst of the summer season, another annual edition of Camp Abaco is soon to be underway this July under the theme, Let Go and Let God Build Your Life on Jesus. The summer camp has been a consistent venture for decades, with young campers ranging from ages 7 through 18 building social skills through a strong religious foundation. Interim camp director Reverend Bruce Russell says, although it is a summer camp, the initiative remains a mission.
Camp Abaco is a mission. It was founded by missionaries, and it's always been a mission to allow or create an atmosphere for our kids to come and have an encounter with God. It's located on the beach in Marsh Harbor, one of the most beautiful places on the earth, and we all know God lives here, so it's right in his backyard where we meet for camp. It's been going on for 50 plus years.
Russell adds that campers can look forward to life-changing experiences simply by attending.
Whether it's the friendships that they built, whether people said they encountered their first experience with God and got saved during camp, and they're still camp. I have people that I've married a camper. We don't promote dating at the camp, but later on in life they connect. They still have that connection through their friendship, and camp experience is something that lasts with them for a lifetime.
Another day in the North, Jay. What's happening in sports?
Mako coming up in sports. Zoe Williamson, remember that name? She's one of the elite swimmers in the country, and she was recently named to the Pan American Games. We'll be following her and have that story coming up next.
All right, good stuff. Sports is coming your way next, but first a check on the local weather forecast.
Forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
'Cause it's so beautiful.
Let's celebrate our 52nd anniversary of independence at the Cultural Extravaganza on Wednesday, July 9th on Independence Park. Enjoy the all-star Bahamian music lineup, the Royal Bahamas Police Force mini tattoo, Bahamian food, fireworks, and Junkadoo. Show starts at 7:30 p.m. See you there. From July 2nd through the 10th, Grand Bahama is the place to be. Don't miss the Welcoming Home Grand Cultural Festival in downtown Freeport, Saturday, July 5th, beginning at 7 p.m. Bahamian food, arts and crafts, kids corner, and live performances by Recon Bahamas, Sherrod Taylor, Nishi LS, Avi, and DMAC. Go to ministryforgb.com for the full welcoming calendar of events.
Here at Island Bedding, we provide Bahamians a local option for factory direct quality sleep products. We have also expanded to include a range of furniture and home accessories. Check out our new living room pieces, including sectional, TV stands, accent tables, and more. Come on down to Island Bedding and feast your eyes on prices you have to see to believe. Located at number 5 Queens Highway, across from Caribbean Veterinarian.
Journey to a serene oasis. Relax. Rejuvenate. Renew. Welcome to Renew Day Spa. For appointments, call 352-RENU.
Do you want to find relief from common health concerns such as headaches, back pain, chronic inflammation, and more? How about improved sleep, boost energy, and improve overall well-being? Check out RA Balance Bahamas and get your body into balance with biomagnetic therapy. For all our social links, contacts, or to request an appointment, visit rabalancebahamas.com.
Grand Bahama Tiles is celebrating independence with a 25% off store-wide sale. On July 8th and July 9th, enjoy store-wide savings with some items up to 60% off. And the first 10 customers get an additional $52 off their entire purchase. Let's celebrate independence with great savings. Call them at 352-7920.
Welcoming home. Get ready, Grand Bahama. The Welcoming Home Grand Expo and Empowerment Seminar is coming July 4th, 2025. Join us at the Grand Lucayan Convention Center from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. for a day of inspiration, information, and opportunity. Hear key updates from the government and connect with top investors, entrepreneurs, and business leaders. Whether you're returning home or looking to grow your vision, this is your moment. The future of Grand Bahama is now. Be a part of it. That's Friday, July 4th at the Grand Lucayan. Don't miss it.
Calling all contractors. Your exclusive priority access to Grand Bahama Tiles pre-independence sale begins Monday, July 7th for one day only. With personalized service, come in and enjoy all the discounts at your leisure before the crowd arrives. See you Monday, July 7th for your exclusive pre-independence sale access.
1920, before independence,
This was our genesis. Like a sun splitting through darkness to let future in. Great-grandfathers with iron fists, wielding policies that paved possibilities for the next of kin. 07 was a shedding of skin. Now native, but never wavered on our commitment. Before our country turned 50, we were here 50 years more. Helping life, spreading light. BAF for life.
Good evening, ladies and gents. I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to Sports Top in Sports. The second edition of the Junior Pan American Games will be held August 9th through the 23rd. Over 4,000 athletes under 23 years old from 41 countries will compete in 28 sports. Grand Bahamian Zoe Williamson, after competing at the Nationals, was named to this year's Junior Pan Am team.
I'll be going with my fellow Bahamians who also made the team. I'm really excited. I can't wait. I made it for the 50 free and 100 free, and so those are my two of my best races ever. So I'm excited to swim.
Zoe also earned 12 medals recently at the Swim Nationals over in New Providence.
This year was my hottest year at Nationals ever. Usually it's a breeze, but this year, between the times and the places and the points, it's just a lot.
Switching gears now in sports, Jamario Charles recently signed with the University of the Bahamas men's soccer program.
I have a lot of teammates on that team, and hopefully I come in to make a good impact on the team and be a good asset to the team and show my skills and do good. So I come with the energy, I bring the energy, and I bring the hard work, and most definitely the team is going to improve.
Still in soccer, Giselle Lang is entering her junior year at Louisiana Christian University. Lang is hoping her team can make it to the Nationals.
I'm just looking forward to getting a ring. I want my team to get a ring. We work really hard, and we deserve it, so we got to work for it. That's what I'm really looking forward to.
And that's your quick check on sports. Your Facebook friend of the day is next. I'm Jay Philippe. As always, be blessed.
From July 2nd through the 10th, Grand Bahama is the place to be. Don't miss the Welcoming Home Grand Cultural Festival in downtown Freeport, Saturday, July 5th, beginning at 7 p.m. Bahamian food, arts and crafts, kids corner, and live performances by Recon Bahamas, Sherrod Taylor, Nishi LS, Avi, and DMAC. Go to ministryforgb.com for the full welcoming calendar of events. Let's celebrate our 52nd anniversary of independence at the Cultural Extravaganza on Wednesday, July 9th on Independence Park. Enjoy the all-star Bahamian music lineup, the Royal Bahamas Police Force Mini Tattoo, Bahamian food, fireworks, and Junkanoo. Show starts at 7:30 p.m. See you there.
Calling all contractors. Your exclusive priority access to Grand Bahama Tiles pre-independence sale begins Monday, July 7 for one day only. With personalized service, come in and enjoy all the discounts at your leisure before the crowd arrives. See you Monday, July 7 for your exclusive pre-independence sale access. Grand Bahama Tiles is celebrating independence with a 25% off store-wide sale. On July 8th and July 9th, enjoy store-wide savings with some items up to 60% off. And the first 10 customers get an additional $52 off their entire purchase. Let's celebrate independence with great savings. Call them 352-7920.
Welcoming home. Get ready, Grand Bahama. The Welcoming Home Grand Expo and Empowerment Seminar is coming July 4th, 2025. Join us at the Grand Lucayan Convention Center from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. for a day of inspiration, information, and opportunity. Hear key updates from the government and connect with top investors, entrepreneurs, and business leaders. Whether you're returning home or looking to grow your vision, this is your moment. The future of Grand Bahama is now. Be a part of it. That's Friday, July 4th at the Grand Lucayan. Don't miss it.
Welcome to Digicom Electronics. My name is Hensley Cameron, the proprietor and the technician. Our services are repairs of phones, TVs, and most other electronics. We also provide a vast range of accessories like chargers. We also sell instruments like phones, tablets, and TVs. So if you have a laptop that's not working, a television that's not working, you can bring it down to Digicom Electronics, and we'll assess it, and if it's worth fixing, then we go ahead and fix it. But if it costs more than 60% of the value of it, we'd suggest that you buy a new one, but we'd have to assess it first. We're at shop number 8, Raven Mall Plaza, on the Circle, the West Atlantic Drive in Freeport, Grand Bahama. The phone number is 242-553-4440.
Your number one team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
And that's going to do it for us here in the North. I'm Ramiko Knowles.
And I'm Jay Philippe.
Thanks so much for watching. Here's a live look at the Bahamas tonight, coming your way next.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, a sobering snapshot of shifting health and social realities of thousands of today's teens. Tune in to find out the growing threats. Plus, a billionaire's playground rocked by tragedy as police question the man allegedly behind it. And top honors from the king for a construction giant and 4 members of the clergy. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast. A mirror held up to thousands of today's teens, and in the reflection, rising rates of obesity, exposure to violence, mental health challenges, and risky behaviors that one health official say can very well lead to lifelong consequences. The comprehensive report, based on a series of questions to children between the ages of 13 and 17 years, a troubling indication of a more complex, more dangerous, more emotionally burdensome reality, reportedly, than any generation before. Lloyd Allen has the findings.
This evening, triggering stats coming out of the 2025 Global Health School Report after listening to the voices of over 2,200 adolescents across the Bahamas. Now, in that report, the findings noting an increase in the number of teens between the ages of 13 and 17 years reporting cases of self-harm and, in some cases, suicide. Those stats 27% and 20% respectively.
1 in 4 teens, or 25%, have seriously contemplated suicide, and 1 in 5 have attempted suicide. These numbers are very sobering and should not sit well with any of us.
Now, equally disturbing, though, is what Dr. Sharita Moxie, head of policy and planning at the Ministry of Health and Wellness, brought to the fore, that 28% of respondents reported varying degrees of hopelessness. Additional red flags, reports of substance abuse, with 17% of respondents using e-cigarettes, and marijuana use now reported at 17% among teens. Alcohol and cocaine use also up.
Lifetime cocaine use in particular has surged tenfold, from 1% in 1998 to 12% in 2023. 3 out of every 4 teens who purchased alcohol were never asked to show an ID, despite the legal drinking age of 18 years.
In 14% of cases, drug use was observed within homes, with 13% of respondents reporting to school under the influence. Now, regarding weapons, 18% of teens reported being armed regularly, while gang involvement stood at 8%. Bullying also up, with 16% of teens reporting online harassment. Similar concerns raised in the case of home violence and sexual exploitation.
Exposure to violence in the home, whether witnessing it or experiencing it, has increased from 25% in 1998 to 33% in 2023. 10% have been forced to have sex, and the proportion of teens reporting multiple sexual partners has significantly declined from 55% in 1998 to 15% in 2023.
Dr. Moxie going further to provide this analysis of the report over the past 25 years.
6 of the 54, or 6% of the indicators, have not changed. And 36 of the 54, or 67% of these indicators, have moved in the wrong direction.
The report, the fourth done in country, including 2,213 students across 35 schools on 8 islands. Reporting in studio for the Bahamas tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen.
Well, now that we have the tools and data needed to better understand the health and well-being of today's adolescents, the big question is what's being done to address it. As PAHO WHO representative here in the Bahamas, Dr. Eldana Basson, candidly put it, the survey provides key information to inform and shape evidence-based policies and school health programs. It ensures that the interventions are timely, are effective, and are youth-centered.
As we reflect on the findings of this survey that you heard and more to come, let it not be the end, but the beginning of coordinated, multi-sectoral action, like investing in health-promoting schools, in scaling up access to mental health services for youth, and for ensuring that our children are safe, nourished, active, and empowered to reach their full potential.
Expanding on that view, health policy lead and public health practitioner Dr. Sharita Moxie says the findings give the clearest signals that urgent action is needed. She assured that a multi-sectoral committee has already been formed to address immediate and short-term actions. Still, everyone has a role to play in shaping a healthier future for our youth.
If you are a parent, use this data to open honest, judgment-free conversations with your children. Know the warning signs. Prioritize presence, not just proximity. If you are an educator, recognize that each student carries a story, and some carry silent burdens and unseen scars. Use the findings to advocate for safer, more inclusive school environments. Health workers may use this evidence to strengthen and expand adolescent-focused services, from nutrition and mental health to substance use prevention and sexual health education. If you are a youth leader, social worker, or counselor, use the data to ensure that the pain of teens you encounter is not dismissed and their potential is not overlooked.
And for policymakers, use the insight to inform targeted investments and legislation and cross-sector strategies for youth. For the media, she suggests to elevate the conversation around youth health and well-being. Now, as a teen, Dr. Moxie advises he or she use the findings to support peers and to seek help when things seem overwhelming. Well, the local healthcare system being prioritized on this National Day of Wellness. For Health and Wellness Minister, the Honourable Dr. Michael Darville, this calls for efforts reflecting both the cultural past, present, and the country's medical future, with new attention being placed on bush medicine and critical upgrades to healthcare infrastructure.
I want to speak a little bit about bush medicine because the time has come for us in the Ministry of Health to look closely at these local remedies and find ways how to incorporate them into our overall health.
While the ministry explores how to integrate traditional treatments into policy, Dr. Darville says work is already underway to strengthen modern healthcare services across the country.
We are now renovating clinics throughout the country. We are doing lab and diagnostics. We are now expanding offices at the Princess Margaret Hospital, and we have just recently laid a bill in the House of Assembly that replaced the NIB chronic drug prescription plan with the new drug prescription plan now going to NHI.
Coming up, maritime cadets get a new complex. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, that and more in a moment.
In a world where every brand knows your name and every store awaits your arrival. Elite shopping, travel where luxury is a lifestyle and every journey feels like home. Dine where every flavor is just for you, every table reserved, and every moment a taste of perfection. Make every big moment even bigger. Experience banking where wealth isn't just managed, it's maximized. Step into a world without limits. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Long day? Hungry crew? Say less and satisfy everyone with KFC's Summer Buckets. Grab a super summer bucket and get 8 juicy pieces of fried chicken, 8 nuggets, corn, our new white rice with gravy, 4 buttery biscuits, 4 Switcher Pink lemonades, and 4 dessert biscuits. So whether it's on the beach, at home, or chilling with the crew, KFC's Summer Buckets starting at just $20. Bring all the flavor. Summer with KFC. It's finger licking good.
While others see customers as numbers, we see our customers as people, neighbors, friends who deserve more than one-sided connections. That's why we are redefining what real connection is by prioritizing our customers and showing our appreciation by putting our money where your loyalty is. BTC customers, claim your $200 Bahamas Air gift card when you add postpaid mobile to your internet plan. That's loyalty that flows both ways.
Is the Little Caesars Stuffed Crust Pizza. Get more pizza for less money. Only $12. It's a whole new level of pizza with cheese stuffed crust so spectacular that there's nothing left.
Pizza.
A delicious pepperoni pizza with the crust stuffed with lots of cheese and brushed with butter and garlic flavor and sprinkled with Parmesan cheese. Hot and ready Thursday to Saturday between 4 and 8 for only $12. Simply irresistible. And only at Little Caesars.
Pizza.
Bahamas, come celebrate our 52nd independence at the Family Fun Day, July 10th at Clifford Park. It's a great afternoon of food, fun, culture, entertainment, national pride. Gates open at 4 p.m., concert time 6 p.m. 52nd Independence Family Fun Day at Clifford Park. Bring the whole family. Admissions free. Happy Independence, Bahamas.
See, I'm proud to be a Bahamian. I'm proud to be a Bahamian.
Portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, where safety is first.
You're looking at a shot of a barge in Nassau Harbor with a beautiful sunset there. That shot courtesy of drone pilot Neville Smith. Welcome back. The quaint community of Harbor Island again rocked by violence, with police reporting the murder of a South African woman and the attempted suicide of a man on a vessel around 1 this afternoon. Police say once alerted to the incident, officers proceeded to the marina area. Once on the vessel, they found a female unresponsive with visible signs of injuries, along with a male suffering severe injuries to his arms. Now, the local doctor was called to the scene and pronounced the woman dead. Further investigations reveal that the victim was missing for a short time before being found unresponsive in the boat's engine room with the male suspect present. We're told the 40-year-old male suspect is of Mexican nationality. He was taken into custody and is being treated at the local clinic. Investigations continue. The police this evening issuing a Marcos alert at 6:30 for 14-year-old Daxton Jordan Oliver Durham, whose last known address is listed as the United States. The teen was last seen around 2 this afternoon at the Lyndon Pinling International Airport. Police say Daxton is slim-built and has light brown complexion. Anyone with information on his whereabouts should call the police, and that's at 502-9975. 502-9991 or 2 or 911. Meantime, the government system is being overburdened by an immigration crisis. The warning of one spiritual leader. In her outgoing charge as president of the Bahamas National Baptist Women's Convention, Reverend Dr. Sabrina Pinder noted that addressing immigration is one of the most important issues the government must get under control, as it creates an ever-increasing burden on the system, ultimately affecting Bahamians.
I personally love everybody, but I do believe that as Bahamians, we have to know when to cut it off. We need to know when it has to be a stop sign. The other countries might not be as well off, so to speak, as we are financially. Give them something to help. But for God's sake, don't let them come into our country, because eventually they're going to take over.
On a lighter note this evening, the Lowell J. Mortimer Maritime Academy, since its inception more than a decade ago, has given Bahamians a path to achieve success in this lucrative, competitive, and most essential industry. Today, the Academy dove even further into ensuring more lives are impacted. Corval Python reports on the LJM Maritime Recreational Complex, another game changer for the institution.
For the man whose name the LJM Maritime Academy bears, this moment seems almost surreal.
When we started this about 15 years ago, we were happy to just have a school. But now we have the sports complex. This takes us even a step further than we had envisaged 10 years ago.
A major milestone, says Prime Minister Philip Davis, as he addressed Thursday's groundbreaking and dedication ceremonies for the LJM Maritime Academy's recreational complex. Outfitted with basketball, tennis courts, a swimming pool, and other amenities, Mr. Davis calls this both an accomplishment for his administration and an even bigger splash for what it means for Bahamians.
Here, young people from surrounding communities will be able to pass their time in a productive manner.
This day was also about celebrating a new generation of maritime cadets. These young people awarded for successfully completing this rigorous training. Soon, ships ahoy await.
The government of the Bahamas continues to prioritize the protection and sustainable use of our maritime environment.
By your grace, it has been brought to realization by the commitment, the care, and the kindness of those dedicated to continued excellence of this Maritime Academy.
Along with the Archbishop's prayer, a vow from the nation's leader that every child can now learn to swim and every Bahamian share in the country's maritime treasures.
They won't be on the streets. They'll be learning new skills, practicing discipline, and building lifelong relationships.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corval Python.
Well, LJM not the only ones, in celebratory mode. With a toast to shared prosperity, the Bahamas last evening joined the United States in celebrating that country's 249th anniversary of independence. Those celebrations at the John Watling's Distillery, where the U.S. Embassy welcomed local and international guests to the annual event. And while it's meant to commemorate America's achieving sovereignty, officials also used the opportunity to highlight the significant relationship between the Bahamas and the U.S. U.S. Chargé d'Affaires Kimberly Furnish says, though through tourism, national security, and sheer proximity, the two nations are inextricably linked.
9 million Americans visit the Bahamas every year. 9 million. To my Bahamian friends out there, thank you for having us. We're not always easy. Thank you for working toward solutions to our shared challenges and help keeping each other safe and prosperous.
Among the local dignitaries attending that event, Governor General Dame Cynthia Pratt and Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis. Mr. Davis also paying tribute to the United States and its role in helping improve the lives of people across the globe.
Know that the people of the Bahamas celebrate with you, not as spectators, but as partners who share in the vision of peace, prosperity, and progress. May your light continue to illuminate pathways to prosperity for your citizens, for your partners, and for communities around the world who benefit from your commitment to shared success. So tonight, I ask you later to raise your glasses to shared prosperity, to mutual success, to partnerships that uplift all, and to the United States of America. Happy Independence Day.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Folk Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
Throughout history, from bartering in ancient markets to the invention of paper currency, convenience has been at the heart of the way we pay. As time marched on, so have we, from barter to cash and cash to digital. Whether you pay with an online bank transfer, digital wallet, or contactless card, with digital payments, options abound. The world never stops evolving, and neither should you. Choose freedom, choose flexibility, choose convenience. The future of pay is digital. Visit us online at livedigitalbahamas.com and on social media.
Are you straight?
Bro, I ain't getting no service. I can't make no calls. I can't post nothing on my stories. I don't get it.
Wait, you on the live? Shad, come, let's fix that. Come. This one needs saving. Pour them over, please.
Say less. Sign up today. Enjoy 5 gigs on us with select prepaid plans when you port your number to Alive, or 3 months free Alive fiber services when you port your landline.
Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, we have been in Exoma now for the past 4 years, carrying out our paving program. A part of our company's philosophy is to do some work to international standards. So when you look at our paving division, we have a state-of-the-art lab to do all of our testing in-house, as well as a state-of-the-art asphalt plant with a trained technician carrying out the work on that site. The overarching goal of our company is to produce the work that we're doing in the entire Bahamas to international standards. We also make a difference by the training of our staff. We have a very intensive training program going on to where we are teaching young men how to learn the art of striping. Being a young man myself, I've made mistakes in the past. I was given a second chance to better my life, and it's only fitting that we pass that along. What's important for us is giving them a second chance for them to get a skill and a career that could take them further in life.
Man, this ain't making no sense, man. How people making it out here, Dre? If you want to stop living paycheck to paycheck, you gotta learn how to budget. First, write down all of your income. Then, list out all of your expenses. And don't forget to save. Stop throwing away money. Put something aside for savings. And get this, government savings bonds can safely grow your money. So start budgeting, save your coins, and invest smart. Financial independence, wait, financial independence, wait. Learn how to invest in government savings bonds on the Central Bank of the Bahamas website.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station, open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
This portion of the news is brought to you by 700 Wines and Spirits, bringing celebration across the nation.
Commonwealth Bank officials hoping to put a dent in the local digital payment system here in the Bahamas. With the introduction of Apple Pay, the bank's looking to expand even further. Aldervis Munnings explains.
Although Commonwealth Bank officials are appealing to its customers to download the new Apple Pay program on their iPhones, they're also onboarding business merchants to the platform. Special devices will be given to business owners, especially tourism stakeholders. It took about 8 months for U.S.-based tech giant Apple to give Commonwealth Bank the green light to launch its Apple Pay service here in the Bahamas. It's the first for the country and the region.
Apple would not certify us unless they felt confident that the product would work with good success rate at the majority of merchants in the country. Fortunately, most merchants were already accepting contactless, but it still was a process of validating that on behalf of the country.
But what Commonwealth Bank officials didn't know was that during their validation process, they had to ensure their colleague financial institutions could accommodate the Apple Play platform as well. Commonwealth Bank's president, Denise Turnquest, is proud of this accomplishment.
We've worked hard and to meet their standard, and obviously to represent the bank as we would like also. And we are just so happy and grateful to be able to provide this service to our community.
The question now remains, what's next? Commonwealth Bank's Vice President of Information Technology, Javon McIntosh, gave this hint to Android users.
We are hopeful that Google Pay will open doors to the Bahamas market as well. We feel really strongly that they will, and we'll continue to kind of keep their feet to the fire, and hopefully soon we'll be able to make Google Pay available to our customers.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Aldervis Munnings.
Well, we're now going to toss it over to LaDawn and Marlena, who join us live for a sneak peek of Access Now. Ladies?
You know,
Mailboat, Makashla, July. Junkin is in July, and I think the Sting is celebrating 25 years of song production.
Yes,
Marlena,
you got the People's Rush coming up any second now. You're like, I better leave it to Sting. I think they'd be better hit than me.
We all know Sting comes up with the most catchy songs, so we're certainly looking forward to that. Stay with us. The National Report is back after the break.
Diet-friendly special.
Wait, where you grabbing all these pizzas, boy?
Wait, Marcos, wait. We have a special on all the large one-topping pizzas, wait.
Pineapple.
All.
Barbecue.
All. Hey, VAT included, boy.
I need the $10 special plate. How many of them would you like? 20 in it. Thank you so much, man. $10, that's it. The Marcos got that deal, boy.
Did you know you could send a local bank transfer to a Sand Dollar wallet? It's the same as sending a transfer to an account at another local bank. Simply use the wallet's 12-digit top-up address as the account number, savings as the account type, Central Bank of the Bahamas as the bank, and Sand Dollar as the branch with branch code or transit number 12,000. Don't use urgent or priority delivery. Transfers to Sand Dollar wallets are processed through the Bahamas Automated Clearinghouse Network within 1 business day.
Happy Independence Bahamas! Let's celebrate 50 plus together with a unique Janae's Uniform Center Independence print, dry fit polo or t-shirts, ribbons and pole bows in black, gold, and aquamarine. Janae's special family package includes buy 2 adults and 3 children Independence polos or t-shirts and get 15% off. Outfit your staff for a special Independence dress of week or day with a different design. For more than 30 pieces of Janae's Independence polos or t-shirts, get up to 25% discount. Janae's Uniform Center Chesapeake Road Independence Selections. Choose your favorite and celebrate 50 plus. Restrictions apply.
As the saying goes, hard work does not go unnoticed, and someday the reward will follow. Well, 5 Bahamians got the attention of royalty, and today got their due rewards. Daniel Dean tells us more.
It's not every day that Bahamians are recognized by the king. But Thursday proved such a day for 5 outstanding Bahamians who were honored during a ceremony at Government House for their contributions in various socio-economic arenas here in the Bahamas. And leading the group, Demetrius George Moscow, who King Charles III has awarded Officer of the Order of the British Empire for his services to business and the community. 2 members of the Order of the British Empire, the Reverend Dr. Diana Francis for her services to education and religion, and Bishop Godfrey Williams for his services to religion and the community. And the British Empire Medal awarded to both Dr. Inez Roll and posthumously Bishop Hensel Kemp for their services to religion. Prime Minister the Honourable Philip Davis lauded the honorees for pouring themselves completely into their work and service to help build our country.
To Mr. Demetrius, George, Jimmy, Moscow, OBE, we salute your unwavering commitment to the advancement of proper infrastructure and development in our country. To Reverend Diana E. Francis, your ministry has not only uplifted souls, it has strengthened communities. Bishop Godfrey Randolph Williams, MBE, San Salvador is proud. To the late Bishop Kemp, who ministered across generations, and to Bishop Kemp, who has lost your wife. Again, we extend our heartfelt condolences Dr. Inez Rowe, BEM. Your lifelong devotion just to public health and to community advocacy and raising up the least amongst us. That advocacy reminds us that true nation building begins with commitment and courage.
Reporting for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Danielle Dean.
And Independence celebrations continuing tomorrow with National Pride Day. The National Independence Secretariat is inviting Bahamians to wear national colors and explore Bahamian culture through museums, reading, workshops, and having conversations with fellow Bahamians to deepen connection with history. And that does it for the National Report, but stay close. The Bahamas Tonight continues with Access Now.
I'm Melissa, and I'm a survey enumerator with the Bahamas National Statistical Institute, or BNSI. For the next few months, we will be conducting the Household Expenditure Survey on various islands.
You might be wondering, why is this survey important? Well, it helps us to determine the poverty line and assess how to ensure everyone has access to the basic services they need. This information is used by the government, businesses, researchers, and students to make informed decisions and plan for the future. We know that your time is valuable, which is why we've made the survey as simple and easy as possible. And don't worry, all your information you provide is confidential.
Your participation will help us gather accurate information that will benefit everyone in the Bahamas. Thank you for your cooperation and being a part of shaping the future of the Bahamas.
Bahamas, come celebrate our 52nd independence at the Family Fun Day, July 10th at Clifford Park. It's a great afternoon of food, fun, culture, entertainment, national pride. Gates open at 4 p.m., concert time 6 p.m. 52nd Independence Family Fun Day at Clifford Park. Bring the whole family. Admissions free. Happy Independence, Bahamas.
See, I'm proud to be a Bahamian. I'm proud to be a Bahamian.
It's National Wellness and Cultural Day at the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Lyle Maycock has the details straight ahead.
Meanwhile, Senator Darren Pickstock donates to the Bahamas Crisis Center. A noble act indeed.
Plus, Sting celebrates 25 years of song production. Stay close for that.
And coming up in sports, Bahamas Lakers fan rejoice as one of our very own is headed to Tinseltown.
The Bahamas Tonight Access Now starts now.
Good evening, everyone. I'm LaDawn Davis.
And I'm Marlena Leonard. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight Access Now.
Well, Independence Day is a week from now. I'm happy to see everyone repping the flag, Marlena.
Yes, black, aquamarine, and gold is the thing this week, and of course next week too. And as we prepare to celebrate our 52nd anniversary of independence, today is actually National Wellness Day, so no colored theme today for the flags.
For us, yes, yes. And tomorrow is National Pride Day, so keep those colors coming. But let's dive right into the news. As the Bahamas continues to celebrate 52 years of independence under the theme Together We Rise, the Ministry of Health and Wellness kicked off the festivities with its first ever National Wellness and Cultural Day Expo. The event, held under the Bahamas Initiative, spotlighted healthy living, preventative care, and Bahamian culture. Lyle Maycock was there.
From free health screenings to local vendors, the Ministry of Health and Wellness is on a mission to prioritize physical, emotional, and mental well-being of Bahamians through education and engagement.
Wellness is not only about checkups and filling prescriptions. It involves how we eat, how we live, how we move, how we worship, how we rest, and how we treat each other. I had COVID-19, the Delta variant, where I was in the intensive care, unable to do anything for myself, lost probably about 40 pounds. I look at my own mortality. And I came to the conclusion that it is our duty to take care of yourself.
Vendors like New Life Natural and Sweet as Candy Sea Moss Delight says the expo was also an opportunity to support local business while promoting a healthier Bahamas.
I feel that
All of our products help boost your immune system and help with healthy living in a multitude of ways. Like I just said before, there's so many issues in the Bahamas where it comes to obesity, whether it's high blood pressure, and we have the products to help you out here at New Life Natural. So
supporting Bahamian culture and promoting Bahamian businesses. It gives me the opportunity to share my knowledge outside of the clinical setting to the wider population in the community.
I hope people walk away with a new understanding of their health. I hope people also walk away with the fact that your health should be your main priority. It's the #1 thing you can invest in because your health is all you really have.
Even free health screenings from the Chronic and Non-Communicable Disease Unit were among the day's key offerings, giving attendees the chance to check their blood pressure, sugar, and cholesterol levels, many for the first time.
It's very important for us to get in touch with our community because we have a lot of people with high blood pressure, high cholesterol, sugar, and they don't know it. So it's always special when we could be at events like this just to touch a few people and find a few high numbers that we could bring in and control, because our goal is to control diabetes, control hypertension, get the numbers down, decrease the mortality rates, just so we can have overall better health in our country.
The ministry hopes this national observance sparks a long-term shift toward healthier, more mindful living across every island and every home in the Bahamas. Reporting for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lyle Maycock.
Thanks, Lyle. Well, with the Bahamas Crisis Center providing round-the-clock support for individuals facing mental health struggles, suicidal thoughts, and sexual violence, Senator Darren Pickstock's recent monetary check donation reinforces the importance of community well-being and helps to ensure that critical support remains within reach for those who need it most. Senator Pickstock highlighting the urgent need to address the rate of suicide in the country as a countrywide struggle, stressing that while donations make a difference, sustained commitment from government sectors and the wider community is essential to support the deepening crisis.
We do need to speak more about suicide prevention, and we also need to appeal to corporate Bahamas to support the work of the Crisis Center. Open your checkbooks, give some support to the Crisis Center because they're doing a wonderful job in helping our country with the serious national issue and national concern that we're facing.
The Sting organization is celebrating its 25th anniversary of Junkanoo song production this year. As part of its anniversary celebration, founded in 1992 by Bernard Hanna, Sting has played a pivotal role in shaping the sound of Junkanoo, collaborating with well-known Bahamian artists such as KB, Stevie S, Colin McDonald, D-Mac, and Dyson Knight.
This is going to happen. We're going to have a celebrations concert, second to none, on the 2nd day of November of this year, which will feature all of our artists that perform those 25 songs. This is simply going to be incredible. This is something that you wouldn't want to miss.
The group has released hits like Somebody Put the Sting on Me, Crime Does Not Pay, and Coming Right Back, and many, many more. Sting announced a series of events leading up to a major concert in November at the farm on Marshall Road. Monthly cookouts, a T-shirt drive, and a souvenir booklet are among the planned initiatives. But most importantly, they want Bahamians to enjoy themselves.
We would like the Bahamians to come out and enjoy themselves, and to take from it that, you know, it doesn't always take money, or you don't have to always get paid for something, but we just love the thing, and then to show your pride, our culture.
And still to come, members of St. George's Church join us live in studio to talk about the church's upcoming Thrill of the Grill. Basil and weather is also on the other side of the break, so keep it locked.
While others see customers as numbers, we see our customers as people, neighbors, friends who deserve more than one-sided connections. That's why we are redefining what real connection is, by prioritizing our customers and showing our appreciation by putting our money where your loyalty is. BTC customers, claim your $200 Bahamas Air gift card when you add postpaid mobile to your internet plan. That's loyalty that flows both ways.
Here at Solomon's, we don't just believe in great brands. We believe in creating unforgettable memories and celebrating everyday living with you and your family. Every Every aisle is filled with all you need. A great value with variety and a selection of all your favorite groceries and products. Saving you time and keeping you on a budget. Great food changes everything. Shop at your local Solomon's for food, for family, for you.
Summer holiday fun starts with a visit to Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Pastalia pastas assorted 14 ounces, 2 for $1.89. Cardell evaporated milk 13 ounces, $1.09. Fresh tomatoes $1.49 per pound. Whole chicken wings $1.69 per pound. Bone-in chicken breasts $2.29 per pound. Join the Super Value Quality Points program today at any Super Value or Quality supermarkets.
Fuel the difference. Ruby's Ultra Tech in your car. Fill up with Ruby's Ultra Tech. Spend less and go far. Fuel up with Ruby's Ultra Tech. Get the most out every ride. Just watch your car perform with the best fuel inside. Fuel up with confidence in every mile. Get Ruby's Ultra Tech in your tank and drive with a smile. Watch your car perform with the best fuel inside. Fuel the difference with Ruby's Ultra Tech.
Come and visit us at Shop Smart, 'cause everything is here.
Yes, we have it all for you. Toys, clothing, office supplies, appliances, custom cut blinds, bedding, drapes, and rugs. Come and visit us on Mackey Street, 2 blocks down from Wolf Road. Call us at 698-1052.
Shop Smart, Shop Smart, that's Shop Smart. Oh, everything is here.
It's time now for your Access weather forecast, and we have some showers and thunderstorms in the extreme northwestern part of the country, just around Bimini and Grand Bahama, and that's associated with a stall-out front boundary across Florida, and an area of low pressure is anticipated to develop along that front boundary. The Hurricane Center is keeping their eyes on this, and they're giving it about a 60% chance of development, and that should happen sometime early next week. But the good news is it's going to be well to the north of us, and it will be moving towards the north and east. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Live Business, where we simply bulk up your business. For the northwestern central islands tonight through Friday, southeasterly winds 10 to 15 knots, the wave heights 2 to 4 feet. Low tide, well, that will take place at 9:12 tonight with another low tide at 9:35 tomorrow morning. And for the southeast bombers tonight and Friday, east to southeast winds, they're going to be a little stronger, 12 to 18 knots. The wave heights 3 to 6 feet. So we're asking small craft in the southeast bombers to exercise caution through Friday. And then as we take you to Saturday, the winds become out of the south at 10 to 15 knots. And this is only for the northwestern parts of the country. Wave heights 2 to 4 feet. Low tide 10:23 in the morning with a high tide at 4:56 in the afternoon. And for the central and southeastern islands on Saturday, southeast winds once again 12 to 18 knots, wave heights 3 to 6 feet. So the caution flag will be extended to the central and southeastern islands on Saturday. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
Even if you're happy, looking very happy, don't look strange, that's the way Jungle will go. The rhythm of Jungle is supposed to make you move. Don't feel strange, get on bad. Shake your body like you're crazy. Jump around and count like your mother.
And that's going to do it for your international temperatures brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But join me at 11 o'clock for a full weather update. Marlena.
Thanks, Basil. It's called Thrill of the Grill, and it's fast approaching. That little church in the valley, St. George's, is well represented tonight in the form of committee members Cameron Wallace and Nikki Fountain. Welcome to Access Now.
Thank you for having us.
So it's not a church fair, it's Thrill of the Grill. Can you tell us about that, and how long has it been going on?
It's been going on as the Thrill of the Grill for more than 20 years. We were just here trying to figure out that. When I was growing up, and probably when he was just a biddy, we just used to have a church bazaar, you know. We remember it being over on D.W. Davis for a while, and then we just started to have the grill out, and then we started to add bit by bit all the fair pieces, and so we are now at the Thrill of the Grill, and the greatest Saturday event you want to imagine. All your friends, all your favorites. The Thrill of the Grill.
Amazing. Now, with the title, Thrill of the Grill, you have to ask, when you go to the stalls, is there only going to be grilled food?
No. So the main attraction for most people would be the grill part of it. Typically, we'll sell between 2,000 and 2,500 dinners on that day. But there are a lot of other stalls for food that'll be available. We'll have 2 comforter stalls. We'll have a curry and roti stall that's handled by you.
That's correct.
You'll have a seafood stall. There's wings and fries. The number of stalls that there's even some that I can't remember.
All your favorite sweet treats.
Yes.
And then Cameron and his guys, they handle a refreshment stall.
Yes.
There you go. Oh, you got everything you need. But
everything.
Like I said, I was hungry from the moment I heard the name of the event. But just, you know, for argument's sake, let's say I'm driving around on a Saturday. What is the special thing about Thrill of the Grill that should make me turn my wheel and go that way?
Well, first of all, we have award-winning steaks and chicken, okay? And somebody asked me, what do you mean award-winning? They have won awards. Okay, they have won awards. We have some competitions that go on locally, and the men of our church have won awards. They are the kings of the grill, okay? So if not for that, we have the Conky Comforters, our Long Island gal. She could put down on some comforters. And then we have an all-curried stall, all things curry. And this year we're looking at mutton, chicken, we have shrimp, we have veggie, and by special request, we have the return of the pig feet curry this year.
Oh, interesting.
And you can have that with your rice, or you can get roti. Very popular. There's always a fight for the roti. They didn't get their roti and reach in time because it's a limited supply.
Right.
Okay.
And then beyond the food aspects of it, it is a very family-oriented event. We have kiddie corners with bouncing castles, hoopla. Last year we had a game room.
Yes, we did.
And this year we're actually implementing some new things. So we're going to have live entertainment taking place during the event. Every year we have a Jungle Rush Out as well. But this year, luckily, we have a number of groups who have reached out to us, actually. So we'll have multiple.
The Soulful Rovers will be there at 2.
Yes, yes,
okay.
yes.
And we do have a Junkanoo Rush Out in the valley. Can't have, you know, something in the valley without Junkanoo.
Yeah, it's a great all-day event.
It's
just
really
come
nice.
out and relax, and you don't have. It's not just you don't just come there for your steak and you go. You literally go to stall to stall. They have areas for you to sit down and relax at and just.
And how could we forget bingo?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Amazing bingo prizes.
I was going to say, I also hear that there's excitement in the form of a raffle.
Yes.
About this raffle, prizes, and because I mean that might, depending on what the prizes are, that could also be the thing that influences.
Money. We have about $15,000 worth of money up for raffle.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, the first prize is $5,000, second is $3,000, third is $2,000, and we have going right down. Then we got your 50-inch TV thrown in there and a couple of gas vouchers and other special prizes. But hey, I don't know about you, but I could use anywhere from $100 to $5,000.
You know, whatever
Right.
Well, we'll put in for that raffle.
So, you know, hit us up. And if you see us out and about, because we have been stationed at the various Super Values, we thank Super Value for allowing us. Purchase a ticket, help us to continue to renovate our church. And what else are we doing with that money?
Parish Hall as well.
The Parish Hall, yeah.
Amazing. Now, I'm sure for anybody listening, they're trying to figure out how do they get to this amazing Thrill of the Grill. What is the date? Where can we find it? How do we get in? Can you give us those details?
So it's going to be on Saturday, July 12th. Every year, it's the Saturday right after Independence.
Okay.
We are on the corner of Montrose Avenue and Royal Palm, but we will have the entirety of Montrose Avenue, at least the section between just after Bahamas Bus and Truck to the corner by D.W. Davis. That whole thing we blocked off. So you would just park by Bus and Truck or park by D.W. Davis, walk and spend the entire day with us right in the valley.
Amazing. And so we'll hear it before we see it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Good food, good fellowship. Come on out. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. You're going to see people you haven't seen for ages.
Amazing.
Honestly.
You will be well-fed.
Well-fed.
And refreshed.
And refreshed.
And entertained.
And entertained. Well, thank you so much.
You sound like you've been before.
No, but it sounds like I'm ready to go is what's happening after this.
Bring LaDawn with you, y'all. Come have a good time. Come in the valley.
Amazing. Nikki and Cameron, thank you so much for stopping by. Best of luck, and I'm pretty sure we're going to drag each other out to see for ourselves.
Excellent.
But for us, let's check in with ZNS Total Sports to see what's on tap.
And DeAndre Ayton set to head to LA.
Details of that story and more coming up in sports.
Hi, I'm Melissa, and I'm a survey enumerator with the Bahamas National Statistical Institute, or BNSI. For the next few months, we will be conducting the Household Expenditure Survey on various islands.
You might be wondering, why is this survey important? Well, it helps us to determine the poverty line and assess how to ensure everyone has access to the basic services they need. This information is used by the government, businesses, researchers, and students to make informed decisions and plan for the future. We know that your time is valuable, which is why we've made the survey as simple and easy as possible. And don't worry, all your information you provide is confidential.
Your participation will help us gather accurate information that will benefit everyone in the Bahamas. Thank you for your cooperation and being a part of shaping the future of the Bahamas.
Hey, ladies, where's the Dave? Oh, okay, thanks. Bets.
Greg, what's up?
Ready, man, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
You up?
He's meditating. You gotta give him at least an hour.
All right, well, I can wait. I ain't got nothing to do. Been the time saying now on to independence.
Welcome to your Thursday Sports Check, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports. Bahamian big man DeAndre Ayton is officially off the market. Will join the Los Angeles Lakers for the upcoming NBA season. Ayton was recently bought out by the Portland Trail Blazers, signed a 2-year deal with the Lakers after clearing waivers on Wednesday evening. The gifted center will become the third Bahamian player to suit up for the franchise, following in the footsteps of LA greats Michael Sweetbells Thompson and Rick Fox. The 26-year-old former #1 overall draft pick will fill a void in the Lakers' front court as the team was searching for a center to complement superstars LeBron James and Luka Doncic. Last season, Ayton averaged 14 points and 10 rebounds per game, while shooting 56% from the field in 40 games. He's averaged a double-double in each of his 7 years in the league, as the first player since Dwight Howard to average at least 10 points and 10 rebounds in each of his first 7 seasons. Over in the Eastern Conference, the Bahamian connection in Philadelphia will indeed be strong this season, as the Sixers announcing that they have re-signed guard Eric Gordon to a 1-year veteran minimum deal. Gordon, who turns 37 on Christmas Day, is coming off an injury-marred season. He posted career lows of 6.8 points per game in 19 minutes. However, reports are that the Sixers are hoping he can serve in a mentor role for their top pick, VJ Edgecombe, as both players are members of the Bahamas' men's national team and competed together in the most recent window of the FIBA AmeriCup qualifiers. And that's a look at your sports on this Thursday. Until tomorrow, I'm Amajal Knowles, signing out.
Comfort Suites Paradise Island is the best-kept secret in the Bahamas. Located directly next door to the Atlantis Resort, you'll receive all the privileges of an Atlantis guest with all the benefits of a Comfort Suite stay. Enjoy everything Atlantis has to offer, including Aquaventure Water Park, plus all the amenities of Comfort Suites. Free Wi-Fi, free breakfast daily, and kids stay, play, and eat free. Visit ComfortSuitesPI.com.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance. Peace of mind.
Bahamas, come celebrate our 52nd independence at the Family Fun Day, July 10th at Clifford Park. It's a great afternoon of food, fun, culture, entertainment, national pride. Gates open at 4 p.m., concert time 6 p.m. 52nd Independence Family Fun Day at Clifford Park. Bring the whole family. Admissions free. Happy Independence, Bahamas.
See, I'm proud to be a Bahamian. I'm proud to be a Bahamian.
The historic Fort Charlotte is our canvas tonight, and our drone pilot Kyson Miller is out there painting the picture. Fort Charlotte was built in 1788 by Lord Dunmore and was named after the wife of King George III, Queen Saharia Charlotte. Well, here ends our little history lesson. Let's see what Bamsey has to say about our family islands.
With more Bahamian students exploring higher education opportunities closer to home, the Bahamas Agriculture Marine Science Institute is intensifying its recruitment campaign ahead of its upcoming fall semester. Officials at the North Andros-based facility boast that the institution offers a full residential scholarship or college experience along with academic programs that align with national development goals: agriculture, environmental and marine science, aquaculture, agribusiness, business management, general agriculture, animal science, and art environment are just some of the subjects on BAMSI's roster. It's also the only institution in the country to offer national certification for flats fishing, nature tours, and veteran flats fishing guides. Now, if you're interested, BAMSI will host a recruitment drive on July 19th at the Mullet Marathon. Prospective students will have the opportunity to meet BAMSI representatives, apply for admission, explore scholarship opportunities, and register on the spot. Marlena?
Thanks, LaDawn. Well, all the best for BAMSI and their recruitment drive. It sounds like a great opportunity. But it's time for us to turn things over to our Matea Cunningham, and let's talk socials.
Matea here, and let's talk socials once again. Sometimes even the pros have their off days, and freestyle kayaker Mark Kearney just proved that in the most hilarious way. In what was supposed to be a smooth, skillful showcase of how he enters the water in his kayak, Mark set up the camera, gave us a confident look, and made his move. But instead of a flawless glide, splash. The kayak flipped and the internet lost it. Check this out. The video has already racked up thousands of views with comments ranging from 10 out of 10 for effort to this is why I stay on land. And to his credit, Mark took it like a champ, laughing it off. It's the kind of content that reminds us even the best fail sometimes. But if you can laugh at yourself, you're still winning. I'm Matea, and this was Let's Talk Socials. Have a wonderful week. Toodles.
It's like they falling and they can't get out kind of thing, right? But it's in the water.
Yeah, you know he's gonna sleep well. It's like tired and shame on my.
And that's it for Access Now, but make sure to tune in tomorrow for Entertainment Friday when we will feature Tim Daniels on his acoustic guitar.
Can't wait, but for tonight, stay tuned for the rundown with Ahmad Rashad Thompson on leadership.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bahamas, come celebrate our 52nd independence at the Family Fun Day, July 10th at Clifford Park. It's a great afternoon of food, fun, culture, entertainment, national pride. Gates open at 4 p.m., concert time 6 p.m. 52nd Independence Family Fun Day at Clifford Park. Bring the whole family. Admissions free. Happy Independence, Bahamas.
See, I'm proud to be a Bahamian. I'm proud to be a Bahamian.
This July 9th, the heart of our nation beats at Clifford Park
as we come together to celebrate 52 years of independence. Join us for a night of culture, music, and national pride. Live from Clifford Park on television and radio with the ZNS Network. The only station bringing you live coverage from Bimini in the north to Turks and Caicos in the south. It's a celebration you won't want to miss. So tune in on July 9th at 7:30 p.m. and experience independence the Bahamian way.
I'm Ted Jervis, and this is ZNS.
Gentlemen, boys and girls, leaders from all generations, good evening and welcome to the Rundown on Leadership, where we don't just analyze leadership, we challenge it, we celebrate it, and when necessary, we disrupt it. I'm your host, Amadou Thompson, and I want to thank you for joining us tonight. As always, I have to pause and thank you, our loyal audience, for running it down with us week after week after week. Your voice, your presence, your hunger for real conversation is what keeps this show alive. We are so grateful that you continue to share your feedback with us by letting us know how valuable you find our time together. We created this show for you, with leaders like you in mind, leaders that want to be better, that know they are called to greater. So we thank you for your trust and your support. And if you're ready to join the national conversation, I need you to scan the QR code that's going to be on your screen and let us know, what do you want us to explore in this month of dialogue? Ladies and gentlemen, I am so excited. I'm excited because yet again, here on RDOL, that's the Rundown on Leadership, we are making history. This month, we're launching a bold and necessary series we're calling Where Do We Go From Here? That's right, our first series ever. As you know, July isn't just another month in the Bahamas. By God's power, we will celebrate 52 years as a sovereign Bahamas. 52 years of victories, setbacks, progress, purpose, and promise. But as we enter this national milestone, we are not simply here to wave flags and sing anthems. We are here to ask the deeper, harder, bolder, nation-shaping questions. Where are we going as a nation? And more importantly, who is leading us there? I've said this time and time again on this show, ladies and gentlemen, we are indeed facing a global leadership crisis. Institutions are being questioned, trust is being broken, promises are being recycled instead of fulfilled. From boardrooms to parliaments, from classrooms to congregations, people are searching for leadership that is bold, authentic, compassionate, and future-minded. And the Bahamas is no exception. We need leaders who don't just want a seat in the House, but they understand the weight of the seat that they are sitting in. Leaders who are less obsessed with popularity and more committed to purpose. Leaders who understand that governing a nation is more than managing a budget. It's shaping the identity and soul of a people. We cannot afford to sleepwalk through this era of national development. Not with 5 generations living, voting, and working in tandem for the first time ever. Not with the pace of change accelerating around us. Not with this next generation watching so closely, wondering if they'll inherit a nation or a mess. So this month, we're going deeper. We're unpacking national leadership, not politics, not posturing, but purpose. We are inviting voices from across sectors, across generations, and across ideologies to answer one unified call. What does it take to lead a nation? This nation, well. What must our leaders do differently? What got us here will not, what will take us there? Because let me be clear, Bahamas, you cannot go where you've never been by doing what you've always done. Similar sentiments were recently shared by the leaders of our governing and opposition parties. Progressive Liberal Party leader, Prime Minister Honorable Philip Davis is adamant that no one will hamper his government's progress. while Free National Movement leader Michael Pintard affirms his party knows their assignment, working for the Bahamian people. Listen to this.
Let me say it straight. My administration has to deliver. The Bahamian people didn't send us here to look busy. They sent us here to get things done. So if you are in the public service and you're holding a progress, I want you to hear me loud and clear. Brave say, take them files off them desks. And let's deliver for the people of the Bahamas. If a Bahamian is waiting on land, move the file. If a Bahamian is waiting on housing, move the file. If a small business is waiting on support, move the file. If there's a project ready to go, get it moving.
I know that many of you have grown frustrated over the years about who exactly you could trust. I've said it often, we need to be restless as a people. Because like you, I'm sick and tired of business as usual in our country. Tired of so many persons defending the status quo when they know, we know, things should be better. Things can be different. Over the last 50 years, both administrations have gotten a number of things correct, but we know beyond the shadow of a doubt that there are challenges we have not yet met, that there are opportunities that we have not yet seized. And we have to have a greater sense of urgency, a greater sense of us working together to accomplish what is in our best interest as a people. And that's why the candidates that we are selecting, every one of them are being challenged. They must come to public service with a spirit of humility. They must know the assignment. The assignment, well, we work for you. That we'll have no tolerance for corruption, no tolerance for arrogance, no tolerance for focusing on self rather than the people that we serve. Many of you for years have given the best of yourself to transform this country. And you've still felt like second-class citizens. We intend to stand with you. I intend to lead the charge to fight for you. I know that many of you are frustrated, even cynical about hearing a new round of promises by politicians. What I'm saying to you is that no matter what has happened with anyone else, I make a commitment that as we stand together, we can change this country for the better, not just for you, but for your children, your children's children. And I promise you every day that I have the honor, the privilege to serve you, I will be fighting for you.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. You've heard from our Prime Minister and you've heard from the Leader of the Opposition. Their perspective on how they will lead us into the next 52 years. But these next 52 years, ladies and gentlemen, demand something different. Different vision, different courage, different leadership, not just from Parliament, but from every generation and every corner of this country. And to kick off this very exciting but necessary conversation tonight through this month, we're honored to welcome Mr. Edison L. Sumner, a distinguished leader whose career spans corporate stewardship, diplomatic service, and humanitarian impact. Edison brings a rare blend of business acumen, civic passion, and global perspective. Perfect for our deep dive tonight on what leadership truly looks like at the national level. This episode is not for the faint of heart, y'all. It's for the Bahamian who knows we must do better because we can do better. It's for the policymaker ready to lead with courage, not convenience. It's for the citizens who refuse to settle for mediocre leadership. And to all our leaders watching, listening, and tuning in, I say this with love and no uncertainty. The future of this nation demands more of you. It demands that you lead not just with strategy, but with soul, not just with intellect, but with integrity, not just for headlines, but for history. Because contrary to popular belief, legacies are not built in campaign seasons and on rally stages. They are built in daily decisions and in the defining moments that define your character. So here's what I need you to do. Right now, hit that share button, text a friend, tag a colleague, what's up your MP? Because we're about to have a transformational conversation and they definitely need to be in on it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Rundown on Leadership and your breakthrough is right after this break.
Tired of looking at the same old kitchen? Step 1. Our talented recommended designer, Mark, crafts a custom design just for you. Step 2. Once your design is ready, CBS Bahamas makes ordering effortless. Your dream kitchen is within reach. Step 3. Our recommended installers bring your vision to life, ensuring every detail is perfectly in place. Sit back and relax as your dream space becomes a reality. Visit cbsbahamas.com and start bringing your home improvement dreams to life today.
Mailboat service is a critical service to the islands of the Bahamas. Certainly, Andrews has always been there and dear to us. That's where we're born and raised. And so we play a crucial role in advancing the growth and development of Andrews. Customers want service and they want consistency. From the start, that's been our commitment. We work to sail on time every time. Our customers have come now to expect this from us. And one of the biggest challenges we've had was finding adequate funding. SPDC from the very start has been a lifesaver. My advice to young people, if you have a vision, a passion, an idea, go for it. Don't give up. It's not easy. If it was, everybody would be doing it. Be consistent and you'll get there.
Covering the news seems easy, but we put thought into what we're doing. The Bahamas Tonight Access Now, here to inform, educate, and entertain. A new type of newscast featuring social media trends, news from around the islands, interviews with the people you like in our communities, sports, weather, and fabulous entertainment. That's a Bahamas Tonight Access Now with Marlena Leonard and LaDon Davis. 7:30, Monday to Friday. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
In 2010, a grant helped Bahamas striping group of companies get started. Today, that seed has grown into a national force, building roads, airports, and brighter futures. Now, we're leading the way through public-private partnerships, what we call 3Ps, where government vision meets private sector innovation. 3Ps empowers local subcontractors, giving them the chance to bid. And with every contract, we're putting money directly into communities, creating jobs, supporting families, and fueling growth. From roads in Eleuthera to community centers in the inner city, we're not just laying asphalt, we're laying foundations for financial opportunity. At Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, we believe in building more than infrastructure. We're building up Bahamians who build the Bahamas. 3Ps, public-private partnerships for people, progress, and prosperity.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. As I said before our break, we are starting a new series this month. And the series is geared toward the discussion around national development and national leadership. What does it take to truly run and lead a nation? Are we there yet? Where do we go from here? And tonight, to open this segment, to open this series, we have the incandescent, the illustrious, the incomparable Mr. Edison L. Sumner here to help us to run it down tonight. Edison, welcome to the show.
Thank you. You got to break that word down for me. You know, I don't.
It means a big time. It means a big time. It means it's a big deal, Edison.
Yeah, those highfalutin words. I like to keep it simple. You know?
Indeed, indeed.
Send me the dictionary. But thank you so much, man.
Absolutely.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. I think, Edison, you raised a good point about keeping it very simple. We want to have sensible, coherent conversations this month around what it takes to get us to our next level.
Sure.
In a few days, we will celebrate 52 years of independence, should the law tarry. What has it meant What does it mean, first of all, Edison, for a nation to obtain independence? And then from that question, what do we need to do from this moment on to secure our independence?
Yeah. So again, thank you for having me on the show. It's a pleasure being here in your great presence. So thank you. But you know, when we talk this thing about independence, it really comes with an awful lot of responsibility. When you become an adult, you decide to move out of your parents' house, right? You have to take on paying your own bills, looking after your own well-being, being sure that you can eat and develop, etc. The same thing holds true for a country, right? When we left the realm of Great Britain as a territory and decided to become an independent country, we said essentially we are prepared now to take care of ourselves. We're stepping out on our own. Come hell or high water, we're going to ride the storm out. Fortunately for us, 52 years later, we're doing well, relatively speaking. There's still some people who think that we may be better under a territory of Great Britain. I don't share that view. But I think that we have done well, and I think that we're now adults, right? We're now in our 50s. This is a big deal for us because there are other countries I know who have gone through so many iterations of changes in the same time span that we've become an independent country, and they've gone through 2 or 3 name changes even as countries, right? Because they're still trying to find their identity. We had the good fortune of having had what we call our forefathers, who were the architects of our Constitution, the architects of independence, who had the great foresight for where they wanted to see this country, you know, 50 years from then, right? And so what they did early on, and this was in my parents' generation, where they sent young people off to university, right? Let them train to become engineers and teachers and central bankers and attorneys and the rest of it, teachers, educators, so that we had a firm foundation upon which to build a nation, right? I don't see as much of that happening now, whereas deciding, well, what is now the direction of our country? Where, if we would look at our movements, say even 20 years from now, 30 years from now, what is it that we want to see our country achieve? Where do we want to see our country be in the next generation? And then we need to set a map to get to that, right? But we need to know what is we want to do. Do we want to create more national institutions? Do we want to be sure that we can get more of our young people educated? Do we want to get more people trained in certain areas of discipline that will support the development of our country? We need to determine what that is. But when you talk about independence and national development, we need to then know, well, what is the development? What is it that we are trying to achieve? Otherwise, we're going to be, as far as our development is concerned, like a rudderless ship. Wherever the wave takes you is where we're going to go. And I think we made some good efforts to deal with some of that when we were dealing with the development of the National Development Plan, which unfortunately didn't take off the way we thought it should. I think it's still a wonderful document to reference, right? But 50 years from where we started, I believe we've had some serious bumps in the road, but I think we've done well. We have had we talked about several hundred years of stable democracy, but if we talked about our own modern times, we've had 52 years of stable democracy, no insurrections, no civil unrest, no change in governments that took place by having extreme violence and the rest of it happening. So I think we've been doing well, and I think that we are still maturing as a nation. We're maturing as a nation, but I think politically, in the mindset of the political directorate, that I think we still have quite a ways to go, because we're still too tribalistic when it comes to our political positions.
What do you think, Edison, it will take? Because I'm putting on my teacher's hat, I'm putting on my L&D hat, I'm putting on my HR hat. As you talk about development of this nation, as you said, 2 things I want to come back to later on in the show, but I want to start here. Without a plan, you will fail. Right? Should that plan be something that one government is involved in creating? Should that be something that the country is involved in creating? Should it be public sector, private sector combination, collaboration? Should our leaders of these respective parties vying for our votes come together and say, listen, here is a shared 30, 40, 15, 10, 5-minute plan for our nation. What should that look like? What should the development plan look like? Who should be involved? Where should we start?
That's a very easy question to answer.
Sure.
Because we've done it. We had the structure, right? And I was fortunate to have been a part of this process, right? We had a structure in place where we brought together all of the political directorate, those who were in Parliament and those who weren't. If you were in frontline politics, you came into the room. So we had the opposition party at the time, who was the opposition party today. We had the governing party under a previous prime minister who was in the room. We had, at the time, there was a third political organization that was, they were in the room. We had the religious and faith-based organizations in the room. We had civil society in the room. We had the business community in the room. So we had in the room a microcosm of the entire country, right? Academia, business, civil society, government, etc. And we sat down, and this is under the leadership of, at the time, Dr. Nicola Virgil Rowe. And we developed a booklet, looks like a telephone book, called the National Development Plan, the 2030 plan. And that plan took into account the views of all of the sectors in the country, all the possible industries that we want to consider. The islands, even the island of Andros developed a strategic plan for the development of Andros. And I think if you were to ask me if for any singular discouragement that I've had is that Andros plan, because it was so rich in details. And to me, the island of Andros, I think, and I've said this so many times, that between the islands of Andros and Grand Bahama, I think hold the greatest promise for the development of our country. For different reasons. But Andros, because I was born Androsian, so I'm disappointed that we aren't further ahead as an island, and I think we have the greatest potential to do so. So for us to get to that point, to talk about how we can get back to development, we've got to get those kinds of actors back in the room. But one of the things we tried to do back then was to not make that a political process.
Absolutely.
And we tried to develop that plan in a way where it did not necessarily coincide with an election campaign or election cycle. And when we had people in the room, Ahmad, we had commitments by the political directorate that if we were to all agree to this plan, we would live by this plan.
Irrespective of your manifesto and your election campaign promises.
As a matter of fact, what really should have been happening was that political parties should have been using that plan as a baseline for their political platform. Because the information is already there. And if you were to open that book and look in the book, you would see the photographs there of the former Prime Minister Christie. You see photographs of former Prime Minister Minnis. You see the photographs of business leaders and stories all across this country. We even engaged the Rastafarian movement in the room to talk about what concerns them and development. So we've done that exercise. We just now need to decide, are we going to go back to it? Now, after we had developed the draft plan, National Development Plan, the government changed. And the disappointment when the government changed was that the plan was essentially shelved, right? And there were iterations of the plan that were reintroduced, but under a different name, right? Because, of course, you know how politics go. You want to take credit for certain kinds of work. So we saw some other development coming out of it. One of the things that I was fortunate to have been involved in as well, subsequent to the plan, was on the Economic Recovery Committee that the former government had put in place. And we also developed a fantastic body of work, right, with some strong, impressive recommendations that were presented to the government. But then the government changed again. So now we've got two exceptional documents that, in my view, and to the best of my knowledge, are not being used. So there's a lot of paper that was spent, a tremendous amount of man hours that were put into the development of those documents. And it's unfortunate now that we don't see where they are being used, and if they are being used, they certainly aren't being referenced in any plan that the political directorate has.
Absolutely. You raise several great points, Edison, in the sense that you said it twice, government changed, and then something else happened. I was interested in Caicos a couple of weeks ago, and I spoke to about 215 or so public servants, which included the governor of Turks and Caicos, the deputy governor of the Turks and Caicos, and then they had 5 other deputy governors from the sister countries or sister territories in that region. And what they did was something similar you mentioned now. It was specific to the public service, but they had the current government, the opposition, and members of the actual public and the public service come together to devise and create a 15-year plan for the public service specifically.
Excellent.
As I spoke to that leadership forum about the culture they're going to create through that plan, in the room were the governor, the deputy governors that supported that initiative, as well as the opposition members, anyone in opposition who was there. And there was a commitment. I spoke to the opposition leader myself, and he said, sir, if we win or lose any election as we move forward within the next 15 years, the commitment is to bring this to life. When we come back from our break, Edison, because we need to really understand how do we truly have that conversation without the risk of the government changing.
Right.
How do we get to the point where these lovely documents become real life? A lived experience for the persons involved and the persons that are looking to us for their future. My niece is 7, Edison. And in a couple of years, she will vote. Right? My brother voted for the first time in the last election. He graduated June, he voted September. And he voted because he knew he should. He had no idea what he voted for or why he was voting. He didn't have a real interest in the vote. But people are now becoming more and more woke, more and more aware of what they will tolerate and what they won't tolerate. And we heard in our opening segment from the Prime Minister and from the leader of the opposition.
Interesting,
in conversation regarding what they want to see changed, and Mr. Pintard asking the nation to trust him, to forego what you've heard, even though this sounds very familiar, and try us again. How long do we have to try with that being our reality, where when the bell ring, whatever you was dealing with is out the door, we're bringing in something new, even if we only change it in name? What would it take for us to get to legacy in our nation versus complacency and nuances when governments change? We'll pick this conversation up when we return from our break. We are having a national discussion right now, ladies and gentlemen, as we answer the question, where do we go from here? What we've done for the last 50 years will take us to the next 50 years. So stay close. Again, I tell you, text you, what's up your MP, call Mr. Davis, call Mr. Pintard, tell them listen in, because this conversation is for them, but it's also for us. Stay close. Your breakthrough continues after the break.
Hey, ladies, where's the Dave? Oh, okay, thanks.
Greg, what's up?
Ready, man, how you doing?
I'm doing well. He's meditating. You gotta give him at least an hour.
All right, well, I can wait. I ain't got nothing to do. Been Pintard for now on to independent.
I am a master plumber by profession. I've been doing plumbing for over 40 odd years. When I was 9 months old, I was diagnosed with polio. To me, living with polio, I took it the way it is. I never allowed my polio to get in my way of anything. In fact, I love when people doubt me, and I just prove them wrong. And let me tell you, in the world, you could only find a plumber as good as me, but you ain't gonna find no plumber better than me. People with disability, they just need a chance. In this program, I feel so encouraged. Most of the mentors have different kind of disability, but disabilities like me. Sharing and caring and showing so much support with people with disability. They would encourage you to go beyond. I wish this was around a long time ago. Right now, I would have been a millionaire. You out there who have a disability, don't be afraid. Take the step. If you believe it, you could achieve it. And remember one thing, ain't no one better than me, and ain't no one better than y'all. God made all us equal.
For more information about how the SBDC can help your small business to make a big impact, give us a call at 461-7232 or visit sbdcbahamas.com.
Welcome back to the Rundown on Leadership. Our guest tonight is Mr. Edison Sumner, and we are talking about national development, leadership at the national level. What does it take to lead a nation to where it's never been before? We ended our first segment, Edison, talking about this concept of continuum, the continuum of a plan. Having a plan in place that any government, whether they are elected or not, can see things through. Are we at a point in our development at this point in time, Edison, when a sitting government can create a plan, whether that's through collaboration or not, and if it benefits the nation, see another government come in and carry that thing through? Do you think we're there yet?
No, we're not there yet. And I say that we're not there yet because of the experience we talked about. The fact that when governments change, plans change. Right? Unless you have something enshrined in law. And even we've seen that even though there are some things enshrined in law, when governments change, they come and they repeal the law.
Wow.
Right? And they enact something else that looks like what you just had, but it's under different kind of a guise. So no, we're not quite there. But I think one of the ways that we can get there when we talk about this idea of national development. And people, I raised this before, and people said, you know, something you're just silly for even thinking this because it's never going to happen, and you're almost insulting the people that you're talking about. But it's if you are a member of parliament, or if you're a politician in this country, and if you genuinely have this country's best interest at heart, genuinely have a best interest, not just trying to get into the House of Parliament, if you have a plan for this constituency that you want to represent, or the country that you want to lead as a political leader, and even if you do not get elected as a member of Parliament, are you still prepared to take that plan that you had, if you had been elected, and share that plan with the person who has been elected to say, these are the plans I had. I think they're good plans. I'm prepared to work with you to get this done. But it's not going to happen. Because the whole idea for most of our politicians is that they just want to get into the House of Assembly. And I heard this on a talk show just about a week or so ago. Someone was asking about, well, if you have a plan, why don't you just share the plan? And they're like, why would I share the plan with you if I'm not the government? You go and develop your own plan. But I'm thinking, you know, no one person has all the smart ideas, right? Now, a former prime minister said, you know, your ma only born smart children. So let's then tap into the mindset of others who can help develop this. Now, the question I think you had also was, how do we get this done? How do we transcend the politics to focus on national development? You need the politicians, because they're the ones who will enact the laws that supports this development, right? They're the ones who are the gatekeepers of our country. But I think it's going to be important to continue to engage non-political, private sector voices who have the ability to speak to anyone in the political arena, whether it be a PLP leader, an FNM leader, a COI leader, whomever, and be able to sit down with them and give them clear, cogent, concise advice, to give strong criticism when it's warranted, without the fear or the risk of being victimized for doing so. Having your voice silenced because you happen to have an opinion that doesn't gel well with your opinion. You talk about political maturity. You talk about national maturity and development. Why should I be penalized or punished simply for having an opinion about how I think things can be improved? And I think that, and this is where probably some of my friends and others in politics might call me tomorrow and say, hey, Sumner, what you dealing with? But I think that a lot of our politicians also need to mature. Too touchy. Too sensitive. You can't be out here in the public domain. I'm a public figure. You are a public figure. We are open to all kinds of criticism. And in our cases, a lot of times, you can't fight back. Right? They have the ability to fight back. They're protected by certain privilege. But I think a lot of us who are in leadership in this country, whether it's political leadership, religious leadership, community leadership, if you stick your neck out the sand, expect someone to swing at it. That's just the way it is. And we who decide to get into leadership in this country, we understand the risks, right? You understand when you step out, you may be stepping on a minefield.
Yes.
You got to navigate that thing properly. But you also understand that, listen, if I have a voice that has some level of influence, that has some access to the ears of the people who lead the country, use your voice. Speak to the people who have the ability to make the changes happen, and hopefully they will take your advice properly and implement it.
Yes.
I've had the good fortune of having worked on a number of boards and committees in this country. I've been on several boards that advise the government on certain matters as it relates to economics or development and the rest of it. A lot of what we recommended in certain cases have been heard, and I can see some semblance being implemented. But the majority of what's recommended to governments, and not just this or the previous, all of them.
Yes.
Right? And I've had the opportunity to work. The only prime minister that I did not work for or do anything under was Pinning.
Wow.
Because I was too young to do anything. Since then, I've had the chance to be involved in some level of public service. But I think that we are at a point now where our political directorate needs to also mature. We can't be so sensitive that whenever something is said that you don't like, that your only alternative is to go and castigate the person who made the recommendation, who criticized you publicly. If you're bold enough to go and run for political office, if you are bold enough to go and take up a charge as a chairman of a board, or a pastor of a church, or a leader of an organization, as I am, then be prepared to deal with the consequences of leadership.
100%.
That's just the way it is. Yeah.
Do you feel, I feel, Edison, that there are times when leaders underestimate the responsibility and overestimate the role.
Yeah.
You believe because you speak time MP now, you are exempt from. When to your point just now, you are specifically now targeted because of your raising of your hand and your winning of this seat and or assumption of this role. When we look at the way our politicians in general act, there is a disservice being done to our nation, I believe, when we resolve to name calling and discord and just carry on but freaking out for no reason.
Yeah.
Because like to your point, if it is that you are going to submit yourself to this type of scrutiny, which you are doing once you say sign me up, you are then subject to whatever comes along with that. Not saying that you are subject to or supposed to just take threats and all this. I'm talking about dangerous stuff.
Right.
I'm talking about scrutiny, opinions on decisions you make, scrutiny on what it is that you plan to do for our nation.
Right.
Do you believe we should be exploring what Mr. Bain seems to be perpetrating, Lincoln Bain that is, where we have these non-politicians seeking political office? Is he on to something? Are we at the point of our nation when we should be saying, look, Mr. Sumner, you make good sense. My grandma always say education ain't sense. But I believe in your case, education plus good sense make you. Should we be pursuing as a nation people who are private citizens but really have service at heart, really want to see this nation develop and become what we're not? Are we ready for that? Do we have the right type of infrastructure for that? Will our country support that? Because we, as you mentioned before our break, this tribalism is very, very real. There is still so much of it that exists in our nation. Will they have a chance? Are people, regular people, able and willing and ready to be elected, do you think?
So I think, I'll answer it this way. I think that any political organization who wants to put candidates forward to represent them in Parliament and to help them become the government, I think that they ought to go through a series of vetting to determine if you are, well, first of all, are you electable? Right? Can you be elected, or are we just now filling the space because we have to mount 42 candidates or 38 candidates?
Are you electable?
Are you electable?
Wow.
Right? That's the first question.
Yes, sir.
Second thing is, if you are electable, are you qualified to serve at a cabinet level?
Yes.
Now, not everybody gets to serve in cabinet, but are you qualified to serve at a cabinet level? And in serving at a cabinet level, that means what are the expertise that you bring to the table?
Yes.
Apart from just being a member of Parliament.
Yes.
What expertise do you possess? Are you a businessman? Have you been a successful businessman? Have you failed in business before? And if you have you learned lessons? Have you had successful businesses before? And how are they doing today?
Yes.
Are you a good have you been a good public servant? Have you been a good civil society, a civic leader in the country? What is your claim to fame?
Yes.
What would cause me to spend my valuable vote for this individual to get them into Parliament and to hope that the Prime Minister sees fit to put them in his or her cabinet? That's important. And then you've got to look at what are going to be, what level of personal sacrifices are you prepared to make as a leader in this country? You can't come to the table always expecting to get.
Absolutely.
Because when you get into that level of leadership, it's not even about getting, it's about giving.
Yes.
Leadership is all about what you can give.
Absolutely.
Right? You're giving your expertise, you're giving your advice, you're giving your mentorship, you're giving away everything that you can to ensure that the thing you're giving it to
can succeed.
Flourish, that it flourishes, it grows, and it develops, right? So I think that when you start selecting people for candidacy to run in an election, and hopefully, and I was given advice some time ago, I won't tell you gave it to me, when I was being courted for politics, and the question was asked of me, are you prepared to spend at least $250,000 to run a campaign?
Wow.
That's the first question, so it hit me right away. The second question was, are you prepared to run for a party if you're not sure that they're going to win the government? And the third question is, even if the party that you may or may not run for wins the government, do you know if you're going to get a seat at the table, or are you going to be in the backbench just booing and cheering and stuff? Yeah. So these were questions that I had to really ask myself, and I answered them very quickly.
Yes.
And it informed my decision for a lot of things that I did.
Absolutely.
But I do think that we need to promote more of our own political maturity in the country, not only for those who are running for political office, but for those who support them.
Yes.
Because it's been my experience that the people who support those in politics are much worse than those who are actually in politics.
Gangsters.
The people in politics, I mean, you know, they may be behind the scenes doing what they do, but man, the people out there are fierce.
Yes.
Right? I mean, and some of these folks are fiercely loyal to their political organizations. Others are fiercely loyal to a political ideologue.
Yes.
Others are fiercely loyal to their own self-enrichment.
Jeez, Louise.
So if you're not doing for me what I think you need to do for me, I'm going to hop the fencing on the other side and try to get it from the other guys. If they don't do it, I can talk bad with them and then come back to you, because at some point, it's only about what can I get out of the deal, not about what I bring to the table and that I can use to help build my country.
Wow. So as we bring this segment to a close, Edison, quick fun question. Do Bahamians vote governments in or vote governments out? Out.
We've been voting governments out since 1992.
Wow.
Because I'll tell you one thing, and this is another thing that I think we all need to be aware of, right? If you're not performing in your role in government, or even sitting as a member of parliament, because the expectations now are high.
Yes.
If you're not performing, the people will tell you by casting a vote against you on the ballot during election time.
Yes.
If you want to ensure that you have a good chance of getting back in the office to serve those people again, then go above and beyond.
Perform.
Got to perform. You have to perform, because I was so impressed with the Prime Minister's speech the other night. We talked about the civil service and public servants doing more, becoming more productive, etc. And then I heard the clip you played from Mr. Pintard also talking about something similar. I think, you know, when you talk about building a nation, you have to talk about how you're going to, as we say in the faith, you've got to learn to deny yourself sometimes. I can tell you. Right? And you've got to take up the cross for other people to ensure that your country's being built.
Yes.
But when you're going into it just for your own self-satisfaction, and here's the other thing you need to ask a lot of people. Right? And we're now in the season for this. The very first question I would ask anybody who wants to get into politics, just tell me why.
Yeah. What is your why?
Just tell me why you want to do this. Because you know you're going to be up for a lot of public criticism.
Yes.
You're going to be up for a lot of ridicule. You're going to have your name tarnished all over the place, and you're going to have a lot of people talking about you.
Yes.
They can drag your family into all this nonsense. Why do you want to do this?
Yes.
Right?
These are questions, Edison, that we're going to continue to ask as we come back from our next break. Are you a cross bearer? Are you willing to bear the cross for this nation should you be elected? In your current role as an elected official or elected hopeful to be elected, are you willing to carry the cross? This and so much more as we discuss where do we go from here. Stay close. Your breakthrough continues after this break.
Got termites and need to get rid of them fast? Trust Rent-A-Kill Initial. With over 60 years experience in the Bahamas, the global brand, training, and expertise can't be beat. Only Rent-A-Kill Initial gives you a 3-year warranty and payment plan options on termite fumigation. No one can match the range of treatments we offer, such as fumigation, pre-construction treatments, termite monitoring, and more. No matter where you are in the Bahamas, we will come to you. When it comes to complete termite eradication, there's only one name, Rent-A-Kill Initial.
Is the Little Caesars Stuffed Crust Pizza. Get more pizza for less money. Only $12. It's a whole new level of pizza with cheese stuffed crust so spectacular that there's nothing left.
Pizza.
A delicious pepperoni pizza with the crust stuffed with lots of cheese and brushed with butter and garlic flavor and sprinkled with Parmesan cheese. Hot and ready Thursday to Saturday between 4 and 8 for only $12. Simply irresistible. And only at Little Caesars.
Pizza.
Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Our guest tonight, if you're just joining us, is Edison Sumner, the principal of Sumner Strategic Partners, His Excellency, who is also the Bahamas' honorary consul to Nambia. Forgive me. Edison, it's so good to have you joining this conversation this evening as we really discuss where we go from here. Now, from our perspective, Edison, we are a young nation that's been through a lot, that's achieved a lot, that is doing well in the landscape of wellness. Nations around the world are crumbling daily. As you mentioned earlier, there's insurrection, there's discourse, there's war, there's violence rampant in streets and throughout the nations around the world. But the Bahamas still remains, I believe, the place where God chooses to live. This place is phenomenally blessed.
Yes.
But as you think about the next 52 years, if you will, Edison, we are a tribalistic nation. We are very, very party-oriented. Our political landscape is still very, very party-oriented. It's either my party or no party. We do have this attitude that I deserve your vote versus I should earn your vote. We have politicians in government and in the opposition from government to government who come in, are voted in, and do absolutely nothing for the 4.5, 5 years that they find themselves in government. We talked about the fact that we may not yet be ready for private sector individuals to join governments and take over and so on and so forth. But what do you think we actually have to do, Edison? What do we actually have to do to get to where we've never been? How do we secure the next 50 years? How do we reach out to the voters like my brother, who is 22 years old, who may or may not have an interest in what you do for the country, but certainly has an interest in what you do for himself? How do I secure, tell my niece at 7, my nephew at 5, that is all going to be okay? Is our current landscape of leadership what will take us to the next 50 years?
We need to return integrity to leadership. Right?
Wow.
I say that meaning that when you say something, mean it.
Jesus.
Follow through.
Yes.
Do what you say you're going to do.
Yes.
If you can't do it, tell them you can't do it.
Yes.
Right? But if you make a promise to the people of this country, follow through on the promise.
Yes.
If you know that you can't fulfill the promise, come back and say, we can't do this, right? And here's why.
Yes.
The resources aren't there.
Yes.
The people ain't in place. The development needs to happen. Let us know what's going on. But I think that we are at a point now where the electorate are not as easily swung as before. Right? Even though I think that the level of political tribalism that I'm experiencing from the outside looking in, I think it's worse than I've ever seen it in my time. And I've been voting now for a little while.
Right? Yes, sir. You think it's worse?
I think so.
Right.
Right? Because I think, and maybe it may not be worse, but it's more evident because of social media.
Absolutely.
Because now anyone can put stuff on social media and not take responsibility for it.
Yes.
Right? Anyone can go out there and they can tarnish people's names and characters and harm their reputation and talk bad about their families and bring all kinds of disparaging things up about individuals who really don't deserve it, right? And I call a lot of these are cowards because they hide behind pseudonyms, right? Some of them are very bold.
Yes.
But others, again, hide behind pseudonyms and they just take these pot shots at people who are in public life. But if you want to see a change in the mindset of the people that you lead, then just do what you say you're going to do.
Yes.
Let your word really become your bond. Perform. If you can't perform, say that you don't have the capacity to do it. I think that the electorate will respect our leaders more if they are honest with us by telling us what really is going on.
Yes.
Tell us if you can't do this, you're human.
Yes.
I would understand that.
Yes.
But my problem is going to be when you keep telling me, yeah, and I realize, or if you tell me, come see me Friday, and you know you're only be in country
Absolutely.
Friday. All right?
The flight done booked, the schedule already, agenda and established.
You're gone, right? So we just need to, I think, respect our electorate more.
Yes.
And that's not only for politics, you know. That's for the church as well.
Absolutely.
Pastors and bishops and priests in the church, same thing. Your members come to you and they can't find you.
Yes.
Right? They're looking for help and assistance. You can't find them.
Yes.
Same thing happens for organizational leadership. You are a leadership expert.
Yes, yes.
When someone comes to you and looking for help and support, the worst thing you want to do is just turn them away.
Absolutely.
Ignoring people.
Yes.
Right? Nothing pisses me off more than being ignored.
Absolutely.
Because you want to know that you are being respected. And that's what leadership does. It respects the people that you lead.
Absolutely.
If there wasn't an electorate, there'd be no need for politicians. If there wasn't a congregation, there'd be no need for pastors. If there wasn't an organization with employees, there'd be no need for CEOs and chairman of boards and the rest of it. You only lead when you have someone to lead.
Absolutely.
And if the people that you intend to lead have no respect for you, and they have no regard for your leadership, then you are effectively a defunct leader.
100%.
Nothing going on, right?
And we have no room in this nation, in these churches, in these organizations, for defunct leaders by choice. So many of this is happening, Edison, because it's allowed to.
Yeah.
Right? when I was in Trust and Caicos, I shared with them, and I'll share with our government and our opposition today. Anybody looking to go into office in this election season, if your words and your actions do not match, if there's incongruence in what you said and what you do,
the big words again.
you is lie. That's it. You are a liar. If your words and your actions don't match, you is lie. If you don't have a chance or chose not to use the chance to provide context, because things happen, things shift, and perspectives can move and the deadlines can move and so on and so forth. But if you said A, did Q, and gave me no context, reason, clarity as to why, you are a liar. There is no room in this electorate, in this election, in this nation, in the future of our nation, for people who willfully, willingly choose to lie versus to be held accountable. Edison, I think that we are at a crossroads in our nation, but also in the way we are leading each other. Because if it is that the current establishment of government in our nation, there's a two-party system. We're looking for another third party is coming in now to try to vie for some of these votes.
Right.
If it is that, irrespective of party, the same dumbness is happening, what's the point? Right? Whether you red, yellow, or black, if all y'all coming in doing the same old, what is the point of having these elections and making these statements that mean nothing? I listened to the Prime Minister, I listened to Mr. Pintard. I believe that what they are saying needs to be said.
Yes.
My question is, or my thought process is, do Bahamians believe them as they say it? Right? Because if I can't believe in you, how do I believe that you can save or take our nation to where it's never been?
Right.
As you think of your experience over the years, Edison, and the way that you've seen nations run nations, right? What is one bit of advice, if you would be willing to share, sir, that you would give to any one of these three young men vying for the leadership of our nation? And what is one word of caution you would also give to them?
Learn to be vulnerable. Right? Yes, we know that we want strong leadership.
Yes.
That's important. We need to have decisive leadership. That's important.
Yes.
We need to have leaders who have compassion for the people they lead. But don't be afraid to show a little bit of vulnerability. It shows your
humanity, man.
Right? It shows that you're still flesh and blood.
Yes.
You bleed when you cut.
Yes.
When someone talk bad about you, you can put up a strong face in the public, but when you go home, you can cry over that. You're hurting.
Yes.
Because they really said something mean about you. And that's why when you get into leadership, you've got to be prepared to take that level of criticism. So don't be afraid to show a little bit of vulnerability. I ain't tell you go in front of the camera and cry.
Yeah, every time to get.
Yeah. But and then if you, you know, one of the things I found is saying the word, I'm sorry, I apologize, I was wrong.
Wow.
Those are like curse words in people's mouths. You will never hear any semblance of those words come out of certain people's mouths because they don't believe that they're ever wrong.
Wow.
Right? There are times when you've got to say, listen, we messed up.
Yes.
Something we planned on doing didn't work. We can fix it. Here's how we intend to get it corrected, as opposed to stringing people along, thinking that we're doing well or doing better when the opposite is true. But I think that I have a lot of hope for our country.
Yes.
I think we've got a glorious future ahead of us. I think that notwithstanding the challenges we've had in the past, I believe that we are one of the countries who's done the best that we could have done in 50 years of our development.
Wow.
Right? Notwithstanding, and this is going back to our original statements. We had a stable democracy.
Yes.
We've never toppled a government. We have a currency that stands at par with the US dollar.
Yes.
We have never defaulted on a loan as a country.
Wow.
So we have strong, even though our credit rating has been downgraded a few times, we still are very strong international financial center. We have a strong economy, I believe. So I think the country is still doing relatively well. If we can do much better, of course we can do better. There's always room to do better.
Absolutely.
When we were in school and we got our report card, sometimes you read and said, can do better.
Yes, has potential to be better.
Potential, space to improve, etc. And to me, that was always the encouragement, because when you've reached your apex, there's nowhere else to go.
Wow.
And that's why I always like the phrase, it's better in the Bahamas.
Yes.
Not that it's best. I always want to be, you always want to be better, because better is always chasing after best. You've never reached that level of perfection, but you're always chasing it.
Yes.
And that to me is always showing a sign of progress. So I think we have a glorious future ahead of us. I'm hoping and praying that those of us who decide to become leaders in the national space will do what we can, whether we're politicians, business leaders, etc. Do what we can to help to build our country. And if you're not up for the task, step aside. Let others who are up to the task get to the wheel and help to drive this bus. If you only this for your own self-interest, I think you're in the wrong space. You need to be somewhere towing the line and not trying to drive this bus.
Wow.
Right? And that goes across the
board.
Across the board.
Yeah. If you're not into this for service, if you're not into this for people, if you're not into this to help us to build a nation, to build legacy, to secure history, then get out of the way.
Yeah.
If you are in this for the person you're looking at in the mirror, you are in this for the wrong reasons. People in this day and age, my grandmother is 89 years old. My brother is 22 years old. 5 generations exist between them.
Yeah.
And they are going to both vote, should the law tarry, and whenever the election is called.
Yeah.
And both of them deserve leadership that will secure their future.
Yes.
That will define their future, that will help them to secure life, if you will, outside of God's grace, of course.
Sure.
So many leaders today are misusing, underutilizing, underestimating the platform they get, the privilege they get to be leaders. And you said it, Edison, if it is that you are in this for yourself, get out of the way. There is no room for lying toes. There is no room for persons looking for self-aggrandizement and to be on posters and on bus and thing and they're driving past. Get out of the way. Ladies and gentlemen, leaders from every island generation in this nation, you have witnessed where do we go from here? The beginning of a very intentional conversation in the month of July. Leaders of our nation, I hope that you are listening to these conversations because you have a responsibility, a duty to honor the legacy that God has given you, the assignment that you currently walk in, and whether you sought that or that was given to you. You have a responsibility to do right by this nation. You can't sit by and watch time pass. I want to pay a special thank you to our guest tonight, His Excellency, Mr. Edison Sumner, with passion, precision, and an unmistakable Bahamianness. You brought this call to leadership that we ought to be reminded to do better, to be better. It's not about titles. It's about truth. It's not about timing. It's about taking ownership of the nation we say we love. Tonight was not just a talk show. Tonight was a mirror held up to a country that now must decide what kind of leadership it truly wants. Bahamians, you cannot take this for granted. Make no mistake about this. We are in a critical hour. I do not mean to seem as an alarmist, but we cannot wait and hope and just pray. We have to be fervent in what we want to see in our nation. The world is watching how small nations like ours move. How independent countries like ours chart a course, not just for survival, but for significance. And if we are going to build a Bahamas that is strong, unified, and future-ready, we must raise up and elect leaders who don't just understand the issues, but they embody the solutions as well. Leaders who know how to lead across generations and across party lines. Leaders who can navigate the tensions between tradition and transformation. Leaders who love this land more than they love their positions, their parties, and their pockets. Let me speak this clearly to everyone listening this evening. Our guest, our greatest export must not be talent, it must be leadership. We must be building